Misfit on the...
Yo, what up? It's your boy FKM broadcasting live from Studio 13, coming at you with another episode of Let's Chop It Up. Man, today I got something going on a little different, man. We usually have gang members, we usually have criminals, we usually have musicians, music makers, we have a lot of different people, producers that come through. But today I wanted to do something really different, and it's gonna be for a reason. But let's get into this first. Can you please introduce yourself first?
I'm Matthew Miles. I'm from Pacoima, California.
Pacoima in the house. What up,
Yes,
Pacoima?
Born and raised in Sun Valley, Pacoima, California, and I'm here just to get raw, tell the truth.
Yes, sir. Now, the reason why we have you here is because you lived. Well, first I want to say this. I usually have musicians, like I was telling everybody, I have people that make music, I have people that produce music, I have gang members here, but we hardly ever celebrate and we are hardly ever talk about someone that went through the mud, came out, found the Lord, and is living a good life. We hardly celebrate stuff like that, you know, and I think it's time for a change. What do you think?
I do. There's a lot of people out there that do come up front, and they do talk about their change, but they don't tell the whole truth. They only tell half of it, and because they're afraid of the repercussions of their life. They fear what people are going to say. So I really want to get raw, and I'm going to tell you things that my wife don't even know.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to be hardcore, and I know she's watching, and she's going to probably, when I get home, I'm probably going to get slapped in the back of the head. But that's okay, because I want the world to know that it's okay to tell the truth.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of men out there that I've came across on the streets, in prison, that I've seen them cry in their pillows. Big men, strong men, men that that are hardcore.
Yes, sir.
But at nighttime, I've seen them weep, and they pulled me aside and said, can you write a letter to my girl? Can you write me a letter to Perot? Because they are too afraid and ashamed to write it themselves because they don't know how.
Yeah.
But
I think that, I'm not going to say everybody, but I would say almost everybody has something like that in them. Like you could be a tough and powerful man. You could be a strong man. But I think there comes a point in everybody's life, whether it's daily, monthly, here and there. But people have to break down. Eventually somebody's going to break down, or somebody's going to feel sorrow. Somebody's going to feel lonely. Somebody's going to feel, emotion at some point. And I think some people are just better at hiding it than others, but sometimes it could eat at somebody.
This is true. But the thing is, a lot of people want to hide that because they don't want to show weakness.
Yes, sir.
People forget that kindness is not weakness. Kindness is kindness. Weakness is weakness.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people mistake the two. And when you are hurting, if you speak about it, it's one thing I've learned going through a lot of academies in my life, that let it flow through you. If you hold it in you, it's like a fester. And that fester, if you don't clean it, if you don't open it, it gets bigger and bigger, and eventually it's going to explode.
Yes, sir.
And then you're going to explode on somebody. And look at the world these days. Everybody's exploding on everybody.
Yeah.
So it's getting crazy.
Hey, man, the violence is out there, man.
And it's off the charts.
Yes, sir. All right, well, everybody know that we work together,
Yes.
and I have heard your story. Me and you have talked about this multiple times, and I wouldn't bring somebody here that is not genuine if I didn't, so what we have with this show, what we have, everything going on here, I do it for my Mexican culture, and it's a certain kind of culture, and I wouldn't bring somebody in our house per se, not just mine, but everybody that's out there watching. I wouldn't bring somebody in our house that's not genuine. And I know you are a genuine person. I know you are really about whatever you speak. You are a man of the Lord, and I know you walk with the Lord. I mean, hey, there's been times that me and you yell at each other and have tested each other, and you've held back. I've seen people test you, one time at work, and you came and told me somebody was yelling at you. I had to go tell him something because you didn't want to cross that line. And I know that you are a person that speaks the truth and speaks whatever you say and whatever you preach about. I know you follow it. And I wouldn't bring in somebody in here that's not really about I wouldn't allow somebody to come into our house, talk to our audience that is not true. So this guy is a very good man. He works with me. We were on nights for about, a year together, and a half, almost 2 years together. He just went back to days, but we'll get into that. Anyway, so go ahead, man. The floor is yours. Tell us how it all started, where it began, and just tell us the whole spiel, man. Let us know.
Wow, I don't know if you got a couple days here. And I respect that, Steve. This is a chance that I've been waiting for. See, in my world, okay, being raised in Pacoima, and your people, I was raised around your people all my life.
Sir.
I living in the Chicano nation
Yes, sir.
back in the 70s was hardcore.
Uh-huh.
Lowriders was definitely a group I grew up with. Went to Montague Elementary, Pacoima Junior High, Poly High School.
Uh-huh.
And so I know, the Latino, the world.
Yes, sir.
And I respect it very much. In fact, I loved it.
There you go. That's what we like to hear, man. That's what we like to hear.
Well, I mean, when you live around it, you must grow with it. You hear the so fresa, vacas and all like that growing up with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're part of it,
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, I got into, back in the 70s with dancing, disco, and then I got into dancing and clubbing. And
what do you mean dancing? Like break dancing
well,
and stuff?
I was one of the first white boys that was hitting the,
Oh, man, let's give Mr. Miles a round of applause for that. There you go. You were tearing up the dance floor.
I was
Okay.
hardcore, but during all that, it was my life was really going crazy. Now, like I said, I'm going to be raw here, and if I do get a little emotional, I apologize.
Oh, it's all right, man. It's all right, man. We're here for you.
My life started. My dad was a preacher, and I'm from a family of 9, and we,
Where do you fall in that? You youngest, oldest, middle?
I'm the youngest of the boys.
Okay.
And I'm the second youngest of the child.
Oh, wow.
And I was mama's baby.
Yeah?
My dad.
You're the last boy?
I'm the last boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
You're the golden child,
and my dad couldn't handle me because I was wiry.
Yes, sir.
I was bouncing off the wall constantly.
Okay.
But about the age of 8, let's go back a couple more years than that, 7. We came back to California, and I was born here, but then we left to Texas for a bit, and we came back to California after the 1972 earthquake.
Okay. That was way before I was born.
Right. And so when we got here, we moved to Silmar, and my mom and dad was looking for a church. So we found one in Pacoima called Bible Way.
Okay.
And so my mom and dad joined the church. My dad became immediately assistant pastor, and my mom the youth director.
Okay.
Well, there were 17 people in the church at that time, and they built it in 5 years to over a congregation of 500.
No way.
Into a poor environment of Pacoima, Silmar, San Fernando, and of course everybody, that was poor in those sectors, Pacoima Flats, everything. My dad built 2 buses basically with his hands, and my mom and dad got their bus driver's license, and then they would go pick up the kids. And
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you guys were heavily involved and rooted into the church, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
very much. My dad loved God without no doubt.
Okay.
They loved the Lord. But the only issue here was the pastor and the 2 ministers that was there were child molesters and pedophiles.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's kind of when people trust someone like that so much, you got to think, like, if anybody that there is to trust, it would be someone like that. And for them to disrespect someone's trust like that, like, oh, man.
Well, see, that's the thing about the world, especially back in the 70s, you know. They hid behind the cloak of Christ. They hid behind that word of God. And back in the 70s, you don't talk about that, right? So when it happens to you, it's a hush-hush situation.
Yeah, it was still like not out there like it is nowadays.
No,
and stuff.
yeah, you didn't talk.
And then you know what, like in the really like in the poor community, people don't talk about it. Even nowadays, like it's something that people hide and don't talk about at all.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's open the source. Let's get this out there. Let people know that it's okay to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people are being hurt right now. Depression is a sickness that we need to open this up. So these people were ruining my life for 5 years.
No way.
Yeah, for 5 years I was being child molested.
Oh wow.
From the age of 8 to the 13.
Oh wow.
And not just once in a while. I'm talking weekly. And then it wasn't just me. There was 20 other boys involved.
Hold on. And you didn't tell your parents?
I didn't know what to say. I was a kid. I was 8.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about
that.
sex.
Must have been like scary for you.
Big time. I remember 8 years old. I'm sitting in my backyard, crying, petting my dog Minute, praying to God, what's going on? I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what sex was. I was 8. I was supposed to be a child.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
And but these other boys, they're going through the same thing. And it was boys that were crippled and boys that were mental and boys that were poor.
They couldn't help themselves.
They didn't know. And then these men are coming in with candy and love and money and this is what we're missing.
It's just a big deception.
Big time.
Yeah.
Taking us to movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as we're getting older, I know I like girls. So now I'm beginning to test my hand into girls. So I'm jumping over the fence and touching girls where I shouldn't be touching now because I want girls. So my life's getting all messed up. So finally I speak up. Out of all the boys, I speak up. And so the men get arrested, but the main guy doesn't get arrested.
What do you mean he doesn't get arrested?
Well, the cops messed up. Okay, so when we finally tell and everything like hits the fan, okay, 2 cops.
Was it? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
go ahead.
Was it like very, very hard for you to finally come out? Because, and I'm asking you this, was it that you were in fear of being reprimanded, or were you embarrassed?
Neither. I didn't want my mom and dad's heart to be broken.
What?
Yeah, I didn't care about me. I cared about them.
You didn't tell them that was happening because you didn't want their heart to be broken?
Yeah. You love mom and dad.
I would have thought it would be like out of embarrassment or maybe like just fear, like something they would do something to you.
I was raised where we were poor, basically. I didn't know anything but a bowl of rice growing up, pretty much, or a hot dog for dinner, because there was a big family, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what embarrassment was.
Yeah.
But I did know how I love mom and pops, mom and dad. And I didn't want their hearts to be broken.
And when you say you didn't want their heart to be broken, you didn't want their heart to be broken as far as what? Like what?
They loved this church.
Okay.
And he was the pastor.
Yeah.
And we didn't want, if their heart got broken, that means the church is broken. That means all this is a charade.
Yeah, bro, but that's like a lot of weight on your shoulders. Like if that's kind of like, hey, if I tell I'm ruining this whole church, and you shouldn't have to feel like that at that age. You're a little baby still, you know what I mean?
But I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? You just take it. So at the same time, I'm also getting beat up at school and bullied because I'm a white kid in a Chicano neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm the minority. So I'm getting bullied a lot, you know? And so I'm having a lot of pressure on me.
Must have been like a lot of stress, man.
Well, I look at it back then now, I hung tough.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still here today.
You dealt with what you had to do.
Exactly.
So how did you eventually come out and tell them?
Well, it kind of it kind of went down the pipe that I went to a family member and kind of ended up in a joking tale, and then she saw it, and she went to my mom's best friend, and my mom's best friend told my mom. So when my mom confronted me, I just said, yeah, it happened. And then so everything just went crazy.
Yeah.
And then when everything went crazy, it just took off. And then this what happened is the police went to the guy's house, the pastor's house, and grabbed one of the boys that was in the front yard to go question him. Took him around the corner. Well, he saw the police grab the boy.
Yeah.
So he grabbed his bag and took off to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that kind of ruined the whole thing.
Yeah.
They never caught him, but they caught the two ministers.
Yeah. Until this day, you don't know if they got that guy?
They never did.
No way.
Yeah, they never did. They caught the two ministers. The first minister they caught right away, and he died 6 months later in prison. 2 years later, they caught Johnson.
What do you mean? Like he died from natural causes or karma?
I think natural causes, but the second was karma.
Oh, yeah. I mean, karma got to catch up to you, man. Hey, man, anybody out there that is experiencing something like this, no matter what your age, I mean, I don't know the range of age that watches this, but if something like that is happening to you, or if you know that something like that is happening to somebody out there, man, speak up and say something, because it can be a weight on your shoulders for a long, long time that you don't have to carry, you know? And if you know something like this is happening, and what kind of person are you for not speaking up and saying something? You know what I mean? Like that's not something that you should be holding in or protecting, you know? So when this had happened, you told your parents, and then how did they feel about you? Were they supportive, or did they like, oh, you ruined everything?
No, this is the kicker. When my mom came to me and asked me, and I told her, this is where I realized that these men destroyed our lives. My mom fainted in front of me.
No way.
Yeah, and when that happened, I realized that my life has changed. It took a toll on my dad. Grabbed the gun immediately and headed out the door. In fact, I remember, I understood that, you know, that they had to call the police on my dad so he wouldn't go kill this man.
Oh, wow.
And so when my mom fainted, I knew that this got real at that moment. At that moment, I grew up. See, these men took my life away at the age 8.
And explain to me in detail, what do you mean, like, at that moment your life changed and you grew up? Like, I just want to understand what you mean by that.
Well, before all that, my head, you got to remember, at the age of 8 to 13, I'm confused. I'm way confused of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, my life during the day is being rocked by me fighting daily.
Yeah.
At night, my head's being rocked, dealing with what's going on with church.
Yeah.
You know, who's
so
God?
it's just like constant problems, constant stress, like there's constantly something going on in your life.
Yeah, and is God real?
Yeah.
Is God real? Is this a big charade? I mean, do I really fit in this? So now I'm beginning to take pain as a high.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, that becomes a later involvement in my life. So when this happens to my mom and my dad, I see a change in the family. So now I see, I'm taught at that moment to run from problems, because we pack up and we leave Southern California.
When that happened?
Yeah, when that happened.
Do you think they left for embarrassment?
No. Heartbroken.
Oh, okay.
Heartbroken.
And you think your mom fainted because she was heartbroken?
My mom fainted because it happened to her boys.
Okay.
Okay, you know, her son. It happened to her son, and I mean her baby boy. You know,
Yeah.
and that
I mean, anybody would feel like that. And your dad was right for grabbing the gun and going
Right,
out there.
yeah.
And if he took a life, you know what? I think in my eyes, in the way that I feel, if a child molester loses their life, they deserve it. I'm not saying that murder is okay, but when somebody molests a child, you basically take that person's life away. Sometimes people get suicidal. You took that person's life. You take someone's innocence forcefully, you take their life away because they're never going to be the same again. You know, sometimes people come out of it, sometimes they don't, but sometimes people get their life destroyed. And I believe that child molesters, rapists, and things like that don't deserve to live. But that's just me. I don't know. Sorry, I don't.
No, it's fine, and everybody has their point of view and everything, because later on I'm gonna turn that on you.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, later on I'm gonna turn that on you, because actually it actually saved us, and that's the crazy part about all this.
Yes, sir.
Well,
so you guys go to Texas, you start running from these problems, you said?
No, not Texas. We just went out of the picture for a while.
Oh, okay.
For like 3 months, and then we came back.
Okay.
Of course I had
Back to Pacoima?
at that time we lived in Pacoima and stuff, but I had to change schools and stuff like that.
Oh, I get you.
We had to move around, but now I'm at the point in my life where I'm in junior high now.
Yes, sir.
And I'm boxing, I'm fighting daily, and now I got this big chip on my shoulder. And my younger sister is blonde hair and blue eyes. Now I'm protecting my little sister. And now I'm really.
Were you like just tired of it? Like, man, I'm not gonna get picked on anymore.
Exactly.
Like, it's going down. Yeah,
exactly. And now I'm fighting the world. So I ended up going through 7 junior highs and 4 high schools.
Wow.
And just getting kicked out of every school, one right after another.
Yeah.
And
would you say what happened before played a part in this, or were you just like, I'm fed up, like this is not happening to me anymore?
Well, I didn't know. School was real easy for me. Grades were no problem.
Yes, sir.
But people were just wrong, and I knew that. And everybody wanted to demo, I felt like, my life every chance they got. That's what I saw. I saw that everybody was out for themselves.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know what he means demolishing, right? Like, everybody's trying to demolish his life. Yeah.
So, in that point,
and you feel like this personally, like it's a personal attack on you?
No, I just felt like everybody was against everybody.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, here's
I just didn't know if you like maybe thought it was the world against you, and that's how you felt at the time.
No, didn't. You know what I used to always say? I loved the Latino family. I did. Because the reason why I loved the Latino family, because you guys were all about the familia. You guys were always about the family. And it used to drive me nuts because the white people weren't like that.
What do you mean?
Well, back in the day, my family on my mom's side was strong about the family. But they started separating, and they started. I started seeing them doing wrong to each other, you know, and they were very prejudiced on my mom's side, and that broke my heart. My dad was pretty much an orphan, kind of. He kind of was by himself, and he loved the Lord, and he was all about our family, our immediate family.
Yeah.
And he loved everybody. And it didn't matter what race you were, what gender you were, what color you were, didn't care. He loved everybody.
That's right.
But the other family, part of the family, just could not. If you weren't white, you weren't right, and that was wrong. And seeing, and being raised in Pacoima and stuff, the Latino family were all about the family, and I loved that. I adored that. In fact, I'm like, why can't we all be like that?
Yeah.
Because if we were all like that, we would stand ground with everybody. There would be no prejudice.
Yes.
And I can't stand prejudice. It breaks my heart when people are against each other. You're Latino. I'm Caucasian, I guess. You know,
we're all human, though.
But we get along great,
We're
right?
all human, yeah.
Yeah,
do.
but it drives me nuts. And seeing when I was raised up, I saw this, and I saw people attack me because I was white. People would tell me all the time, you know where you are, why you're there? Because you're white. I was like, dude, I was born and raised in the same neighborhood you were born and raised in.
Yeah.
what makes that? I didn't understand that. So I growing up, my life was getting confused daily. And I doubted God the whole entire time.
Oh, wow.
So time I hit high school, I'm partying, I'm dancing, I'm getting crazy. Now I'm beginning to find out older women like me. Now I'm thinking, I need cash. Now, I'm really...
Why, you're talking about like when you were going out to these parties and everything, you were hooking up with older ladies? Okay.
That started wanting to buy me.
So the party scene, you said like you used to party in Pacoima only, or would you go like all over LA? How was it back in the day?
The Valley was mine.
Oh, really?
I lived the Valley. And back in the day, we had the RTD bus. I'm sure anybody that's back in the day knew back in the 70s and 80s before Metro hit, RTD was the bus.
Oh, okay.
And that was my limo. I didn't have a car.
Shout out to public transportation, man. Let's give it up for public transportation.
That's right. And RTD took me everywhere. And so I knew the Valley in LA like the back of my hand.
Okay.
So Tapestry, Dillard's, Fantasia, all those clubs were mine.
Oh, wow.
So I would go by myself. I wouldn't go in a group. And I'd walk in, and I mean, I was a white boy that could dance. So all the other white boys would be leaning against the wall. And I was like,
you're the only one out there shaking the leg?
Yeah, I was. I couldn't understand why these white guys are sitting against the wall when there's 4 women dancing with each other.
Yeah.
And so I got in the mix.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then I started realizing these women had money. They had cars. So why not?
Yeah.
You know, why not start cutting it loose? And so, again, I didn't want to be on the other side. And what happened to me as a child? So I just started sleeping with everything and anything and not caring. And then that's when AIDS hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and AIDS were big time back in the early 80s. And I graduated in 83, and that's when cocaine was
on the scene,
off the charts. And of course, that was my, you know, I smoked a little weed, but you know, we didn't really do it for me. I mean, me and my buddies would get high and play some football, and you know, down in North Hollywood, we'd really rack it up. And, but
so cocaine was your drug of choice?
Actually, my drug of choice to start off was acid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really strung out on acid.
Really?
Yeah, for about a year.
Oh, wow.
I got into purple microdot and mescaline and acid.
I don't even know what none of that is.
Well,
right there.
I really liked to hallucinate when I played football.
Okay.
So we got into that, but it didn't, you know, it's not really addictive. Then I got into cocaine. And back in the cocaine days, before we started basing and crack hit the scene, it was $350 an 8-ball, and it was pink Peruvian off the docks, and that was serious stuff. Plus, that was one way.
You're talking about like it was like pretty close to pure.
It was 92%.
Oh, wow.
It was hardcore.
Yeah, people would love that nowadays.
Yeah. It's you know, last time I did it was trash. So you know, but back in the day when it was first hitting in the 80s, you know, you're talking, you know, Miami Vice type style. Where it was real, and I got hooked. And when I got hooked, that was the beginning of my downfall. Because I even though I worked and everything, I didn't do just a dab and a dab. It just, I was an extremist. My life was always an extremist.
What do you mean? Like, you can't just take like one line? It wasn't just one?
No, it wasn't.
It was like Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't have just one.
That's a good analogy. I'm going to use that one. I would do an 8-ball in a night.
Oh, wow. So you were hitting it hard then.
Yeah, I was. And all my checks were going every weekend to.
Well, at least you were working.
I was working.
At least you were working and you had a job.
Yeah. You know, at first I was a functioning addict. And then crack hit the scene.
Oh, that changed the whole game?
Big time, because I was there when the first rock hit the ground.
Wow.
And I was a crackhead for 13 years.
No way.
I was a serious crackhead.
What is? Well, what would you say was the difference between the two?
Well, I didn't have to rock it no more, which made it easier and cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, I was basing it first,
Uh-huh.
and so I had to take the time to rock it up myself and everything. And,
Yeah.
that didn't fly no more when you can just drive down.
Oh, so you weren't like doing lines or anything? You were.
I started off doing lines, but when you were taught by Richard Pryor how to bass, you know,
Rest in peace. Shout out to Richard Pryor.
when you started, learning how to bass and everything,
Yeah.
then that took you to the next level.
Really?
And then,
Was the high different?
oh yeah, by far. But
Yeah.
then now you're chasing. Oh, now you're on a roller coaster,
Uh-huh.
and you're chasing for that next hill,
Uh-huh.
and you're never catching it.
I've never done coke. I've done crack before. I've never done coke. So
Okay, well, Coke is a pure Coke and everything is a better rush, but
you need more of it, though?
you need more of it.
Ooh, you got to have some money to do that, huh?
Yeah, you're definitely broke all the time, and you're definitely hustling.
Uh-huh.
So I became this professional hustler.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now I'm
And this is when you're a crackhead?
both.
Well, I don't mean to call you that. I didn't
No,
mean
it's
to call
all
you
right. No,
that.
I was a
but
crackhead for
when
13
you
years.
were addicted to crack.
No, I was a crackhead.
I don't know if you mind that term or not.
I
but-
don't, because
Okay,
that's what I
so
was.
you're talking about you were a professional hustler when you were on crack.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so now now picture this scene, okay? So I get my check, say $800, okay, at that time.
Well, if you were working and you were on crack, you weren't a full crackhead.
No, trust me, I was a crackhead.
You couldn't be if you were working.
Well, I gotta make the money to get my dope at that time, right?
Okay.
Okay, but I'm broke again, by Sunday night.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
So because I'm not partying by myself. I gotta have people with me.
Yeah.
And because I'm not a isolated crackhead, I'm a partying crackhead. So
You're taking everybody down with you.
truthfully. But now I got to hustle more money.
Yeah.
So you got to think of it this way. Now, how do I hustle it? Well, I get dressed up. I look clean. I look pure. And now I'm going around to stores and like car lots and stuff. And then say, yeah, now I'm broke down. I'm down the street right here, and then I'm willing to work to wash cars or anything to get some gas money and everything. Well, you throw the word work, and you're clean cut and everything.
Yeah.
People just
And you're white. Let's not throw that out there, man. You guys got some privileges.
people are willing to hand you $50, $100 at a time because you use that word work and you don't look like a bum. So I'm walking away that day with $500-$600.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
And did you ever have to work, or they're just giving it to you?
Once in a great while I had to work.
So that might be white privilege right there, dog. Because damn well a Mexican or a black person, they're not going to just hand them
Well, it all depends how
$50.
you dress.
Oh, that is true. That is
and
true.
how you present yourself. If you go up there and unshaven, cap sideways, khakis and stuff.
Yeah.
But you go up there clean cut, pleated shirt and everything, you're looking good.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm broke down, my Beamer's down the street, and
Yeah.
I'm broke, I just need some gas. I'm willing to work for it, here's $20. Just go get you some gas. It's all good.
Yeah.
Here's a gas can.
Oh, wow. Look at you. So you say you're, at the end of the day, you're walking out with like $500-$600.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good hustle right
Yeah.
there, man.
And
Everybody, you guys need to take notes. If you need to make some money, my boy Matthew Miles just put you up on game right there. That's a good hustle.
so, that's how I was. But I'm learning this because I'm on the streets now doing my own thing. And I'm bouncing from couch to couch. Even though I had my own place stashed to the corner, I'm not really living there. I'm going all over the place, and I'm seeing several women at the same time. So I'm really not in my own place. And I got my little vehicle. I had a little mini truck.
What kind of truck?
I had a little Ford Courier, lowered,
Okay.
with Inkies all the way around.
Okay, look at
Yeah,
you.
it was,
you weren't a crackhead if you had that either.
Well,
though.
no,
You would have
but-
sold your truck for some crack.
Not yet.
We're getting there, huh?
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Not yet. And so my life is now a humongous roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I'm, life's going on. So I say, the age of 22. Okay, I am now at the point my life needs to change.
Yes, sir.
Now I have this cocaine dealer chasing me down because I just robbed him.
Oh, wow.
So I just got done robbing him for, like a quarter ounce. Okay? I just got done.
Did you start turning scandalous like little by little?
If I'm hustling $500 to $600 a day, that's pretty scandalous. Okay?
Not really, though. But robbing people for your high, that's getting scandalous.
No, the guy asked me to do Less Than Zero Act. Okay, if you know that movie. Okay, Less Than Zero is it's a movie with Rodney.
Dangerfield?
Not Dangerfield. No. Can't even think of his name. It goes my brain. The guy that plays Iron Man. What's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Okay, he played Less Than Zero. Okay, he that part where he's doing cocaine for sex. Okay, so this guy jumped on me and said, "Hey man, if you do a little for me, so that just ticked me off. So I just robbed him."
Yeah, who fucking would it? Anybody would.
Yeah, so that happened, and then another guy, fronted me an ounce that I didn't pay for. So I did a couple, scandalous things too. So I had to go.
Yeah.
So I joined the Army. I got out of
Oh,
California.
wow.
Yeah, I joined the Army. And my life needed to change. I needed a new perspective.
Yeah.
And I told myself, what do I need to do? So I'm walking down North Hollywood over there off of Laura Canyon, and I looked in the recruiter's office and walked in and signed up.
Wow.
quick.
Didn't even think about
Didn't
it.
think
How
twice.
old were you when you did that?
22.
Oh, wow.
I was 22.
Okay.
And he goes, "Do you have a high school diploma?" I said, "I don't know." You got a GED? I said, "No." So I'm one of the few guys you probably know that has a high school diploma and 2 GEDs.
Two? How the heck did you do that?
Okay, well, because I had to go down to get my GED, to join the Army. While I was doing my GED, he went to North Hollywood High School and got my high school diploma because I had my credits. I dropped out 3 months before graduation.
Oh, okay.
So I already had my high school diploma. I was already enough credits to get that.
Yeah.
But when I left prison, I couldn't leave TDC without getting my GED, and they wouldn't recognize the Army for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
You would think that they would take that
Yeah.
right off the bat.
So I had to get another GED to go to parole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I.
That's cool, man.
So yeah. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
You got a lot of credentials.
They're just all high school. But so I was in the Army, and then when I was in the Army.
Hold on. Let's give it up for my boy Matthew. He has 2 GEDs and a high school diploma, man. Let's give it up to him. Man. That's incredible. I think that's incredible right there.
Yeah. So then I was in the Army, and I was going on. I signed up for 4 years. And then while I was in there doing exercise in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, we were in a Ranger unit. I was out there. I was a 60 gunner, and during that training, I'd be honest with you, don't know how it happened, but I wasn't mentally stable still.
Well, you shot somebody?
No, I went off of the hillside.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I don't know how I went off the hillside. I just know I went off the hillside and busted myself all up.
Wow. Wait, what? Like, how high was the hill? Like, you were rolling down the hill?
Yeah,
Or?
and I hit a tree.
And by exercises, do you mean like when they're marching and going in a line running, or?
No, this was a live fire where the Navy was involved, the Air Force was involved,
Okay.
Army and Marines. We're blowing everything out of this mountain.
Okay.
It was literally a live fire.
Oh, okay.
It was a live fire where everybody had live ammo. We were 13 days out there. It was snowing. It was cold.
Yeah.
And we just got done eating chow. I was the last man out of a 500-man march. And I got up and went off the hillside and went like 200 feet.
Whoa.
And hit a tree, busted my arm all up. That's where I had my surgeries.
No way.
Yeah.
So you were Sonny Bono before Sonny Bono. Nah, just, man. Rest in peace to Sonny Bono, man.
And then I ended up with bone infection.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the hospital for 4 months.
And
so they put me out of service because I couldn't shoot no more.
they were like, well, you can't really do what we really need you to do. So,
exactly. So I got out of the service.
So you were honorably discharged?
Yes.
All right, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, medically honorably.
Uh-huh.
So, so that's where I get my military pension.
How long were you in the Army before that happened?
2 years. 2 years.
Oh, wow. So you got, some people have to freaking go a whole career to get benefits and pensions and all that, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd trade it. I loved the Army. I thought the Army was cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Army was cool. And it plus gave me discipline and it gave me a purpose.
Do you think that really works? Like, they break you down and then build you back up. Do you think that?
I needed the discipline.
Okay.
I needed it. I never had it before.
Because the road you were going down too, man, maybe that helped a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
The only problem is I took that road with me.
Uh-huh.
Not too many people smoke crack in basic training, and I did.
Oh, you took it with you over there doing that?
Yeah, because I mean.
Well, what, they just had drugs going around while you were there?
No, you get your 1 day pass.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Went straight to the crack house. One thing you learn is when you're on the streets, you know the streets.
Yeah.
And
you know how to make your way around and get to it, whatever you have to get to, yeah.
See, I left Pacoima because it was going to put me in prison or kill me.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized there's a Pacoima in every state.
Yes, sir.
Then I realized it wasn't Pacoima. Matthews in every state. It had nothing to do with the city. It had to do with me.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm at the point where I'm living a lie, and I just now divorcing my first wife, because I met her in the Army, and so
she was in the Army as well?
No.
Or you met her like where you were stationed somewhere?
Fort Campbell.
Okay.
And so when I got out of service, she wanted a serviceman. So we really didn't have much of a relationship because I ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So me and her got a divorce.
Okay.
Now I'm back in California.
Uh-huh.
Back in the routine. Back working. Okay? I worked 3 months. And
were you clean at this time? Like, hadn't touched drugs or anything?
no, I'm back.
No, I'm saying, like, from the time you got discharged into when you came back to California, were you clean? Or
No.
were you messing around here and there?
I'm
They
not-
never stopped it?
No.
Okay.
Never stopped.
Okay.
I got on pills because of my arm,
Uh-huh.
and then went straight back to crack.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
There was no in between.
No,
You're
and-
just going
Yeah,
strong.
exactly. And now I get arrested for grand theft and strong armed robbery.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is my first case. So I plead out for a year. And I do my first year in Mariloma out in Lancaster.
Mariloma?
Yeah. It's back in the 80s.
I was thinking like...
Back in the 90s, I'm sorry.
You're not talking about the... You said in Lancaster?
Yeah, right there on... right there in 60th and 90th.
Okay.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
I know the area, though.
Okay. Well, back in the day, they had a prison called Mariloma. Okay. Now they have the big prison out there on J and 60th, I believe.
Uh-huh.
But now back then it was I and 60th.
Okay.
So everybody went to prison back there.
Uh-huh.
So I had to do a year. Okay. So that's my first year. So after that, I get out of prison. I'm in shape again because I'm working out in prison.
No drugs in there?
No drugs.
Okay.
There was no pot. I didn't get hooked up.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing basketball every day.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And so I'm really into it. I dropped down to 170 pounds.
Uh-huh.
Feeling good.
You got the basketball moves, too?
And
If you know how to dance, you got some basketball
Yeah,
moves.
so,
You got
yeah.
some basketball moves.
And I love basketball.
There you go.
But as soon as I get out,
Right back to it?
right back to it.
What the heck? What do you think? What is it? Is this addicting or is it your personality or?
Well, you said it, addicting personality.
Oh, okay.
So you said it right there. So
Yeah.
now I'm addicted personality and I'm running the streets now. Now I'm running strong. I'm 24, 25 years old. And
You're in shape.
yeah, but now
You just got out of prison.
I got this big hole in my chest. But the day I get out, I meet my second wife. Okay? And by the third day, she's pregnant by me.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Well,
so-
shit, right after you get out of prison, I'm pretty sure you're going for it.
I didn't think about it that way. So we hook up and we move to Utah. And she takes me with her. Her and her dad takes me both.
Oh, okay.
So I get up to Utah and I get straight. I totally get straight. I mean, it was like new life, everything cool. So, and I start laying pipe. And this
Whoa.
not like that.
With her,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
in his career? I don't know. You got to be specific.
In the career. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know. I'm just playing with you.
and start operating heavy equipment.
Uh-huh.
And that's where my career takes off, right?
Uh-huh.
So for 3 years,
And no drugs.
no drugs.
All right.
3 years, no drugs.
Uh-huh.
I'm working out, okay? 6 days a week,
Uh-huh.
3 hours a day. Okay, I get 212. I'm buffed. I'm working out constantly. I'm just going to work, and she tells me, you got to quit the gym.
Why?
Because I'm not being with the family long enough, right?
Uh-huh.
And even though I'm going to the gym at 3 in the morning. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, if you do this, it's going to be hard on me, Now you got to quit the gym.
Was the gym like your addiction? Like it took over your addiction? So like you said, addictive personality. Did the gym become your addiction at one point?
Well, it stopped me.
Uh-huh.
It stopped me from doing everything. It was my
It
healing.
was your addiction.
It was my healing.
Yeah,
It might have been my addiction, but at least I was clear-headed.
yeah. Okay, yeah. And it was a positive. It was a positive addiction,
It was
if anything.
And if anything, it was my job.
Uh-huh.
Because now I'm learning a trade.
Yeah.
Heavy equipment was like, now I'm beginning to love what I do.
Uh-huh.
I'm not running. But when I quit my gym, there was a bar across the street, at bowling.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm going straight from work to because it was a small town.
Yeah.
And now I'm going straight to the bar. And now she can go with me, so it's okay.
Now you guys are spending time together,
Yeah.
but not the right time together.
Right. So we're at the bar, and guess what's at the bar? Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. And so this
Yeah.
continued on until me and her divorces.
And so you started dabbling in the coke
Coke.
again? Okay.
Okay. Now I'm dabbling in coke and speed.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now.
Oh, man. I never done it, but I know from watching that is a hell of a drug, too.
It's a horror drug.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now we're gonna fast forward. Okay. We're gonna jump in the lane here, because between this time and my next situation, it's just a pattern of trying to get my life together again. But I'm just coke, crack, crack, crack.
Yeah.
So I catch up to this I'm back into California. Okay, I'm 41.
Hey, well, you separated with your wife at that
Yeah,
time?
we divorced. We moved on.
Because of going to the bar, and then it never stopped after that, obviously, right?
Well, she actually dabbled in. We separated everything. We sold our house, and then she started
Dabbling in.
to married men.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I couldn't handle it, so.
Well, who the hell would be
Exactly.
able to handle
Exactly.
that?
Exactly. So, I went on in my own life, and she took my 2 children and took off to the Carolinas. So I just gave her my VA check, and and I had to go on to my life. I had to get Matthew straight.
Yeah.
And Matthew needed to get straight. And so I moved forward, and now I'm getting 41, I believe. No, 31. Sorry, 31. Now I'm 31, and I meet this girl that's 21. That's an ex-porn star. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I meet her in Mojave, California. I'm staying with my folks. I meet her.
Hey, you lucked out, man. You lucked out on that one.
I'm with her for 8 years, but now we're just totally doing speed.
Oh, wow.
Every single day. Okay, now since she's a porn star, what am I doing? I'm getting crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're now dabbing into the orgy population. Girls, guys, beds full. And 3, 4 TVs are on the roof. We're just getting crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm with her for 8 years, and we are strung out.
Oh.
And then we end up in San Antonio, Texas. And in San Antonio, Texas, I have a dabble with a cop. And I end up going to prison.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Cop lied, said I hit him. I fought him for 2 years. My word against his. I ended up.
What happened in that situation?
Well, excuse me for a sec. What happened is it was my birthday. My birthday party. And that night we went to Albertsons to go get, and I had a few drinks,
Yeah.
And anyway, while we're there, another guy we're cutting up in Albertsons, not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Guy went to the checkout, and I was behind him. Someone said something to him. He took off running. He was on parole, so he got scared.
Oh, he was out of there.
Yeah. So I guess they thought we were in cahoots about something. This big sheriff jumped on me. I didn't know who he was.
You didn't know that guy at all?
No. Oh, I knew the guy that I was partnering with. Yeah.
The guy that took off running.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He came with me, but I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
The big cop, I didn't know he was a cop, jumped on me. And
Regular clothes?
Yeah, regular clothes.
Oh shit.
And so I'm cussing him out. I'm like, get off me, you fat.
Yeah.
You know. So come to find out, it says sheriff on the back of his jacket. So he punches himself in the face, carves his hand, and said, "I bit him and punched him."
Are you serious?
Yeah. So two other cops show up. Two other guys are backing his word up, and so they arrest me and take me down to.
So I know you as a person, and I know you're not lying because it's not in you. So this story you're saying is true.
Yes.
Now imagine this happened to Mr. Miles. It could happen to anybody. So when people are saying that cops do this stuff, it's true. Because if he's saying it, man. I'm not saying he never lies. I don't know if he does or doesn't. Just a person that I know, he does it. You know, he tries to be truthful as much as he can. And if he's saying this, like, think about that, man. The guy punches himself and he cuts himself. Said that you bit him. Like, you never know. It could happen out there.
Well, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to be truthful and raw about this. And I know this might sound a little boring right now, but it's going to get a little bit more extreme here in a sec. But yeah, this is truthful. I have an old saying: "There's no money in telling a lie."
Yeah. Okay?
And the best truth is the lie because nobody believes it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, long story short, after 2 years of fighting this, I get a nickel. Okay, I have time, and I get a TDC number.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then I get out.
What is that TDC? Texas Department of Corrections?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like California Department of Corrections.
Okay, got you.
So it's a TDC number. I never expected to have any kind of number like that.
And then the 5 years, it was 85% halftime?
85%, and I was out on parole. And then, of course, I never went to parole. And it's not like California because out there they give you $50 at the gate and $50 a parole, and that's it.
No way.
Yeah, you don't get nothing.
You don't get the $200.
No, you don't get no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I was a cook. Thank God I got into cook. And this is where my life started to change, because now I'm at the point. And see, when I got that time, I mean, it kind of went a little longer. I mean, I'm not going to get into a big old discussion, but nobody wants to do time having a girl on the outside.
Oh, definitely not.
Okay, that's the hardest thing.
Definitely not, yeah.
Okay, so when they arrested me and I stood in front of the judge, you know, the DA wanted to give me 9 years, right?
Ooh-wee.
And I looked at the DA and I said, "What are you trying to do, get commission off me?" And the judge showed the DA, you know, I'm the one that hands out the time, not you. And so he says, "I think you should do your 5 years and just get this off your back."
Yeah.
Anyway, my girl that I was with already for 8 years.
The porn star?
Yeah, the porn star.
Oh, you should have known she was a stain.
Yeah.
You
Actually,
should have known she was a stain.
And the thing is she had a teener on her when I went in. So I knew that she was going to still party.
Yeah.
And anyway, when I went in, I literally went to, you got to go to county first, walked into county, walked into my cell, and I dropped to my knees. And I was bawling, and I went.
Wait, because of the girl?
No, because of my life.
Oh, okay.
I had it.
Yeah.
I was done. And I raised my hands.
Like, it was just too much for you to, like, the drugs, the alcohol, and everything was just... How bad were you into alcohol?
That's coming.
Okay.
And we ain't done.
Okay, go ahead.
But I dropped to my knees, and I asked God for peace. I just want peace, because I can't handle this no more. You know, I mean, I'm ready to chew on a bullet this time.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but... Yeah. So, up until this point, for what happened when you were younger, Did you always believe in God and you kept your faith alive, or did you stop because that happened?
No, because God didn't do it to me. Man did.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I personally, I would have been like, hey, man, like, where were you at? You know, and maybe I would have stopped believing or something.
I had questions, but for some reason, and people would ask me all the time, and this is one of the craziest things I would hear all the time.
Yeah.
In bars and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Christian. I say, oh, you're a Christian. He goes, well, yeah. He goes, don't you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
But that makes you a Christian. That don't make you a Christian. Satan believes in Christ.
Yeah.
Doesn't make him a Christian.
Yeah.
He knows the word of God back and forward. Doesn't make you a Christian.
Yeah.
Just because you believe in Jesus doesn't make you a Christian. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I believe in God, but how can I believe that I'm a Christian sitting here doing a line of coke and sleeping with that girl over there that I don't even know who she is?
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, that makes you crazy.
Excuse me. Eli said, who is the guy FKM is interviewing? What does it have to do with Raza? This isn't Raza Radio. This is the podcast, Let's Chop It Up. Everybody's welcome here. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you barely tuned in, but this man, whether he is our people or not, he's my people. He is welcome in this house. In this house meaning he is welcome on our YouTube channel to tell his story. And the other person is right. Dio Choa said, I didn't mean to jump in like that, but it's for everyone. He's speaking on a topic that affects humans. You know, it's not a time to be negative. He's a very, very good personal friend of mine. And let's just keep it positive, you know. This is a Chicano channel, but this is not a Chicano podcast. This podcast is for everybody. So everybody's invited here. We welcome everybody equally. And if you barely tuned in, man, you missed a very, very good few stories, man. This man has had a rough life, and we're just celebrating him right now, man. So let's get it going.
Back up to where I was.
You dropped to your knees,
Yeah.
and you.
Ask God for peace. Now, what the crazy part about this, okay, I'm still messed up, but I never felt such peace. I mean, literally, okay, everybody is in the day room, okay, and you know what the day room is. So they're hearing this. I ain't shy about this.
Oh, you did it in front of everybody?
In front of everybody, dude.
What?
Yeah, I had no fear, dude.
Why would you do that?
I was broken. You ever been broken to the point of no return?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was. And people respected me. I got kudos, dude, across the board. Okay, because I was real. So I'm being real here.
You know what? It is hard. I will say that. It is hard. One, because people look at you weird. And you know how people are. Like, you got all kinds of men in prison, and everybody's, like, big, bad. And then, like, even in being a prayer circle is kind of hard, you know? Like, people might look at you a little weird. So, to do that takes a lot of courage. Takes a lot of courage.
I dropped to my knees, and all I did was ask for peace. I said, I don't care. I don't care about what's going on. I don't need a woman in my life right now. And I told God that. I don't need a woman in my life. I want her gone. Okay?
I don't know about that. I would have kept her around. I'm just playing.
And she pops up later in prison.
Oh, wow.
That's what the crazy part. So anyway, I have perfect peace immediately. I walked up. I got up off my knees that day. My tears were totally dry. And I had no more fear, no more worry. I was done. So now I get transported into prison.
But when you said that, did you do one of those, if you do this for me, I'm going to stop everything kind of deals, or you just asked for peace?
I just asked for peace.
Okay.
You know, and then a lot of people say, oh, I see you found Christ in prison. No, I knew Christ before prison.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm now just going to listen.
Yeah.
I'm now going to hear him. So I got where I can get a Bible in prison because I need to read. So I didn't watch TV. I didn't do nothing. I went and I cooked. And you know how people say, hey, find your people, get hooked up and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't find my people. I didn't want my people. Because immediately all they wanted to do is, hey, we're going to hook you up. No, you ain't.
Yeah.
I ain't wearing no swastika on my chest. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
He ain't shaving my head.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, you know. And then, you know, your people come along. Who do you run with? I don't run with anybody. I run with Christ. And then they said, okay, we're going to watch you. One mistake, we're going to check you in the corner.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when you claim to be a Christian or you claim to be a man of God and then you go and because people do that to get away from the politics. People do that so they don't have to participate in certain things. And you know what? People are okay with it. But when people do slip up, they do get it.
Yeah, exactly. And they watched me. And then they start calling me the preacher because I actually started rolling it. And I started helping people. And that's when people started coming to, can you write this letter? Can you help me with parole? And I'd love to. That was my thing. I wanted to help people.
And you were totally sober, no drugs or nothing in there?
Nothing.
Okay.
Zero.
Okay.
And that was my thing. I wanted to be like that.
Yeah.
You know? But this is the weirdest part. I'm in now TDC, right? Okay. There's over 2,500 prisoners in there, down there, in Dominguez Prison. Okay? If anybody knows San Antonio, they know Dominguez Prison.
Okay.
So I'm down there.
It's a really, really hardcore prison?
It's a hardcore prison.
Okay.
Inmate runs it. Okay. So I'm down there, and out of all the prisons, out of all the dorms, out of all the cellies in that whole place, my cellie gets a dirty magazine with my girlfriend in it.
No.
Now tell me that ain't Satan right there, dude.
Wow.
Okay? Tell me that ain't Satan right there. Okay, with one of her porno movies. And he goes, hey, man, check out this nun doing the priest. And immediately I knew which one he's talking about.
What do you mean?
Well, I knew what movie it was from.
Okay.
Because it's from one of her 8mm movie. I said,
you
dude,
didn't think like, no, it can't be like.
Well, I jumped
or
up.
you just knew right away.
Immediately. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And I jumped up and said, let me check that out, dude. So he shows it to me, and I'm like, dude, you got to give me those pictures. Why? Well, I explained the whole story. And it was a white dude that has it. So he doesn't want to give him up now. He's like, now I know the guy that knows this chick. So I'm like, dude, you got to give me those pictures, man. I mean, I can't let this go around. I want to cut these pictures up and throw them in the trash. And so the other cellie said, dude, you got to give him those pictures. Dude, it was like almost a fight right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what did you want the pictures for, though?
I want to get rid of them, man. I don't
well,
want
why?
that. Because, okay,
She's not part of your life anymore.
It doesn't matter. I had a pass with her.
Okay.
I don't need that pass going around
the
neighborhood block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need someone to be taking in the showers with them, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know how it is there.
Yeah.
So I finally got them, and I had to throw them away. But that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Out of all the prison, 2,500 people, out of all the cells,
it was
lands
her?
on mine.
Oh, wow.
Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, that is.
So anyway, I'm kicking it there and everything, and all of a sudden, this is no lie. I won't tell you the truth. I fall asleep. I see Christ. Now let's get real here. I see Christ, and he says,
But okay, you see Christ, but you're sober at this time, right?
totally sober.
Okay.
Totally
Okay.
sober.
Just have to make sure that you're sober and there's nothing maybe hallucinating.
You know, and a lot of people are going to say, you know, whatever, dude. And that's cool. A lot of people can say whatever they want. I'm talking about me. And he tells me patience. Now, Christ is standing about 20 feet tall. And I see the knees of God, so I know I'm sitting in the throne room of God. And he says, patience. And I go to the Lord. I said, Lord, you know I don't have patience. I'm sitting in prison. And he tells me again, patience. And I reached up and I kissed him on the cheek. And I woke up, sweat poured from head to toe. I had to change my uniform.
Oh, wow.
And the first word I opened up the Bible to was patience.
Oh, wow.
Okay? 2 months later, I got paroled.
No way.
2 months later, I got paroled early.
Early?
Early.
Okay.
60%.
Wow. And then, so what happened after you got out?
I went straight back to drugs, dude.
What the? I thought it was going to be a life-changing moment. What the heck happened?
No,
what made you do that?
I landed immediately. A week later, this is how it works.
A week later?
A week later, I meet a girl.
Uh-huh.
That's totally, and the first thing she introduces me to, you know, I get this for a friend of mine all the time. It's a bag of speed.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that lands right in my lap.
Yeah.
So me and this girl, we hook up, right?
Uh-huh.
So now she is involved at the same thing I was involved with before, and that's having parties in bed. So I end up marrying this girl. She's my third wife now.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Hey,
I'm
man,
having
you got some incredible wives, man.
yeah. Well, but I'm having like 2 or 3 guys coming over here saying, "Help me have sex with my wife."
Uh-huh.
Now is that crazy?
Yeah.
And I'm telling my wife I love her.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now that's just downright insane. That's the definition of insane.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing an 8-ball a night of speed. This girl is the daughter of the founder of Waste Management in Texas, San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
She gets $250,000 every year,
Wow.
and she's broke in 3 months.
What?
Yeah.
$250,000 a year, and that was probably back then. She probably gets more now.
And that's how much dope we're doing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's pawning things in 3 months.
Wow.
Okay. So that's how much dope we're going through.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And she marries me while I break parole and I'm back in prison.
Uh-huh.
She marries me over the phone.
Really?
Yeah. Her daughter stands in for me.
Uh-huh.
That's how crazy my life's getting.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I get out, and now she calls the cops on me. She doesn't want me around because I want to get straight.
Uh-huh.
So,
She wants to keep going down the same path.
right. So I'm kicked out.
Uh-huh.
I'm living on the streets now. I'm beginning to live on the streets. And then she'd call me back. And then she'd kick me out. Then she'd call
Yeah.
me back. And then she'd kick me out. So one day a cop says, "Aren't you getting tired of getting kicked in the teeth?" So I kind of wake up and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." So we're now in Phoenix, Arizona. And I grab my bags and I start hitching it.
Where are you going?
I don't know yet.
You just, decided just to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to get real. Okay, so I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. And I hook up with these girls that are prostitutes. Okay, down at a truck stop. Well, these girls like me,
Uh-huh.
so they want me to kind of hang out with them and kind of run things.
Uh-huh.
So now,
What do you mean kind of run? You can say it. They want you to be the pimp.
no, actually, we're all prostituting.
Oh, wow. What the heck? What brought it to that?
I didn't care.
You just lost yourself?
I didn't care.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of women out there, like a lot of older women that
They want the same thing men do.
yeah, they need hugging.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't, and I was gone.
Uh-huh.
I was really gone. I wasn't. So I'm at the point now where I'm at this high of pain. And
Did it make you feel bad about yourself when you were doing it?
nah, I was numb.
Or you didn't care at the time?
Well, now I became a cutter.
What is that?
Well, when you get high and you got all this pain inside you,
Uh-huh.
and you know you've done so much wrong, you start taking the pain on the outside to heal the pain on the
Oh,
inside.
yeah, yeah.
So
So, you're basically harming yourself.
you start cutting yourself up.
Wow.
You start carving into yourself like a turkey.
Uh-huh.
You ain't there no more.
Uh-huh.
I told you I was going to keep it real.
Yeah.
See, you people, there's a lot of people out there that you can act, you can be, you can hide the tears that I'm showing. You can cry in your pillow at night. You can sit in your car and you can ask why, and why did she do this, and why did I do this, and everything. But until you let this pain out, it hurts, and it's going to keep hurting. I'm taking this chance with my friend Steve. He's actually a brother. I look at Steve as a family, because I've never done this with anybody, and he's the first guy I've ever got really raw with and really down with. These are wounds that I'm trying to heal. And this is a chance where I get to heal them. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are sharing the same things I'm sharing, and you just don't want to talk about it, and then you fear to talk about it. You don't want people to know what you've been through, whether it's just anger or molesting or getting beat up, whatever the case may be, getting beat down even, drugs, addiction, whatever the case may be. It could be just cigarettes. It could be food. It could be exercise. There's so many addictions out there in the world a lot of people don't know about that you're hiding, you're holding on to. The only way you can let go is just to let go. Talk to anybody about it. Talk to your best friend. Talk to your mom. Talk to your sister. Talk to your wife. Talk to your husband. Talk to somebody. Because if you don't, the pain gets worse. Mm-hmm. And then you start putting it out on somebody, even if it's yourself. I'm 57 years old now. Don't wait till you get my age before you start talking about it.
Does it feel good to release it?
It does. It's hard because I know what kind of podcast you're doing. Uh-huh. And I know these people are real also.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to see them, but I know.
You never know, man. Telling a story like this, just like the ones you opened up with, that's really, really serious. And it happens to a lot of people, and it could change somebody's life.
I'm trying to. I deal with a recovery home that's, and the pastor of it, he's an old 1960s big Chicano, and Pastor Juan, and that's a heroin addict and everything. He's dealt with many men, and he's a good man, and he's came across the board too.
How did you end up hooking up with him?
I had to go through some kind of recovery home that really felt home. And it was.
So you've been there yourself?
Yeah.
To his home?
Yeah, and I went to his recovery home. That was the final recovery place to get me sober.
Oh, well, you've had like a couple of them that you
Quite a few.
Went to, and it just never worked out?
Yeah, he was the first Christian home I went to, and he was real. Because if you didn't do it, he'd kick you right out.
Really?
Yeah, he was down. He's OG.
No second chances?
No, he's definitely OG.
Yeah.
He's definitely OG. But I got to that point in Phoenix, Arizona, where I was just gone. I just wasn't there. And that's where my drinking started.
Oh, wow.
Now, when I got to my drinking, this is a whole nother stage. Because now, passing all that other dope and everything, and you get to the drinking stage, now you're at the lowest part of addiction, because now it's the cheapest part of addiction. Okay? Now it's easy to get, it's cheap to get.
Would you say it's one of the strongest?
One of the hardest and strongest addictions. They don't call it spirits for nothing.
And it's widely available.
Big time.
It's widely available.
And the thing about alcohol, it's one of the most physical addictions and the most slow destroying bodily addiction. Heroin, it's a hard addiction, but it kill you fast.
Yeah.
Alcohol will kill you slow.
Like deteriorating kind of. Yeah.
And alcohol will sneak up on you. And next thing you know, you got a bad liver, bad kidney, bad stomach, bad lungs, whatever. Yeah. And kill your brain, kill your heart. And you won't know it. And next thing you know, boom, it's there.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point where I can operate, but I'm on the streets. So I leave Phoenix, Arizona. I can't hang around these girls no more. And these girls want to go with me to California. I'm like, I can't take you. And I didn't even know, okay, how many people on the streets are homosexuals. Okay? Because I'm talking to this one dude, and this other guy comes up behind me and starts beating me in the head with a brick. Because I'm talking to his lover. And I didn't know that was happening. Right? Yeah. And we're drunk, right? So I'm thinking, why is this guy hitting me in the back of the head with a brick? So I end up in the hospital with 17 staples in the back of my head, and realized that they were lovers. And I was like, you don't think of that kind of stuff on the street.
Yeah.
So I hitchhiked to Lancaster, California, and I called my dad. I said, Dad, can you meet me at Home Depot with a pair of needle nose pliers, biters, and some gauze? I said, you got to help me take these staples out of my head.
Oh, wow.
So he meets me over there, and I tell him how to take the staples out of my head. And he tells me, son, you can't come to my house.
Why is that?
I'm a drunk.
So this whole, man, I didn't even think to ask you about your parents. Like, where are your parents through this whole ordeal? Or you talk to them? They're like trying to support you, like, hey, come home and let's get you sober, or what was it?
They supported me, they loved me, but I was out of hand.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, my family disowned me. My brothers and sisters disowned me for 22 years.
Hey, were you the only one like that in the family?
We all dabbed, but I was the worst.
You just like went off on a limb and
Yeah, me and my younger sister were pretty hardcore. But I was really out there. And then I got into time I got to California and got into Lancaster. I was sleeping under the cars.
Oh, wow.
I'd wait till a car get shut down, and I'd crawl under their car to keep warm.
Wow.
And still working,
Yeah.
still drinking,
Still working?
still working, still
No
finding money.
way.
Yeah,
So you were functioning most of the time.
Yeah, and then I started drinking more and more, and I swelled up, and my head was twice this size.
Wow.
It was I was drinking 3/5 a day.
That's a lot. That is a lot. And it's physically addicting. Is it true when they say, like, you physically need it? Like, you need it? Or...
Yes, I was finally at Pismo, and I was sitting in a hotel room, and there was 13 bottles around me, and I couldn't understand at all how can a bottle that looked like water had so much control over me. I was praying to God, how does this bottle have so much control over me? I couldn't understand it. I was crying at the edge of the bed going, how? I need this taken. I can't stop. I can't do it on my own. There's no way.
Were you doing scandalous things like when you were on crack? When you're on alcohol, were you doing scandalous things like you were when you were on crack?
I didn't have to.
For alcohol?
No, because alcohol's cheap. You can get a bottle,
Okay, got you.
You can get a bottle of Taka vodka for $8.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and $8 is easy to get.
Yeah.
You just got to get a clear head and, get $8.
Yeah, get out there and get it.
Yeah, it's just no big deal. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't have to. I had to work a little bit just to get a hotel room or get off the streets or go to a shelter.
Yeah.
Find a place where the cops ain't gonna be there, and so you can drink and be left alone. Most of the time by railroad tracks,
Yeah.
alleyways, parks.
Wow.
Just wherever you can. Just stay away from the cops.
Yeah.
And then if you want to really get sober up for a couple of days, get arrested on purpose. You get a
But then you go through withdrawals when you're in there, no?
all they do is hold you for 48 hours and let you go.
Oh, gotcha.
So the time you get sobered up and everything, you got a little bit of shakes, and they let you back out. And
Yeah, and then you go right back to it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but you're at the point now where you're praying to go home. And I don't mean to your house. I'm praying to go home. You're done. So this one time, back up to Phoenix, Arizona, I'm done with life, and so
Suicidal?
Yeah. So I'm sitting behind a trash can in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have all my bags of clothes with me. I'm holding on to and everything. And I reached in the trash can, and now we are in a area where there's no one out there, just a Motel 6 and the highway. No one. Desert. No stores, no nothing. And I'm sitting behind a hotel, Motel 6, behind a trash can in the dark. And I take a Coke can out of the trash can, and I open it and broke it open. And I slice my wrist.
Oh, shit.
And I do it right. I slice it right. And I open myself wide open. And I'm sitting there. I don't know where this cop comes from.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Nothing else around.
Exactly. And he drives up, and he's about from here to your door. And he parks and shines a light on me. This is the sweetest cop I've
And
ever.
you're already bleeding out?
Yeah, I'm bleeding out. And he's already called the ambulance, apparently. And he gets out of his car and gets on his knee. He says, son, it's going to be okay. And he just sits there and says, you okay? It's going to be okay. The gentlest voice I've ever heard in my life. He tells me it's going to be okay. Next thing I know, the ambulance drives up. And I never see the cop again.
Really?
Never saw him again. They take me to the hospital. Doctor walks in, touches my chest. He says, you're going to stay here for 11 days, and then we're going to release you. Don't you worry about a thing. And leaves me alone. They let me sleep for 11 days.
Really?
They gave me medicine and...
For your withdrawals?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just slept for 11 days. They fixed my arm and let me go.
And then what happened on the journey after that? Back to it?
Back to it.
Man. It's like you're getting all of these signs and
Chances.
yeah, and
One in right after another. But see, that's the thing.
What was the height? Was that the height? Like, what was you would say? Like, all right, man, this was the worst of the worst, and
Pismo was my final destination when I was at Pismo.
and that's when you said you were looking at the bottle, like,
Yeah, that was my final destination because I've been through all the destinations already, crack, speed, everything. I'm at the alcohol now. I'm at the final thing. Okay? And I'm looking at the bottle, and I can't understand this. I'm dying. I'm dying, man.
yeah.
And I mean, I literally.
And what brought this, like, so what brought the question to your mind, like, to even question it or even think like that? Like, what brought it to your mind?
It just I couldn't understand why.
Like, why this thing has control of me?
Because I went back to my 8 years old, where I lost my life.
Yeah.
See, I lost my life at 8.
Yeah.
My life changed that day.
Yes, sir.
And I went back and said, I want to be 8 again. I want this to go away. And I surrendered again. I said, take it away. And he hurt me again. And from that moment on, he told me, I'm going to take it all. And little by little, I started climbing out of this pit I was in. You ever been in a situation where you got this big gaping hole in your chest and you want it filled and nothing can fill it?
Yes, sir.
I finally got filled.
Yes, sir.
I finally got filled. And it wasn't the alcohol, it wasn't the drugs, it wasn't the women, it wasn't the money, it wasn't the job. It was Christ. I literally can say that. Christ literally.
And that was the moment that everything started changing?
That was the moment.
So you prayed on it, that moment when you were in the hotel.
Yeah.
And did it take time to get off? Or
Yeah.
just it happened right away?
No, it gradually. See, I ended up in a place in Bakersfield called a Veterans Home Association. And they started helping me get back on my feet. They gave me an apartment. And then I met my wife, that I have my 4th wife now. And
this is the wife that you're with now?
right.
Okay.
And she never partied. She
Okay.
never got high. She didn't drink. And she supported me. And she stuck by my side. And she said, I'm going to
She
help
knew
you.
how bad you were when it happened?
In fact, what's so funny about that, I promised myself the next girl I see, I'm going to tell her straight out everything. So I told her, I said, I'm a crackhead, I'm a speed freak, I'm a heroin addict, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a loser, I don't have nothing, I'm not working. And she goes, whatever.
What do you mean?
She didn't believe me. And then when she did finally see that, she goes, I'm going to fix this guy. She's one of those.
Yeah.
And
She stuck by your side then,
she
huh?
stuck by my side.
Okay.
And then she told me, you either get help or you can't live here no more. She moved me into her place. And so that's when I went to live again, recovery home, Pastor Juan.
Yeah.
And Pastor Juan said, you either get help here or you can't stay here either. And so I started reaching. I started grasping.
Would you say that Christ has helped you find your way back?
Christ did help me find my way back. And I can't say it. I know it.
Okay.
Without Christ, I didn't have nothing. And I knew that at the age of 8. And then, now I told you a couple of things, how it saved my parents' lives of my child molesting. And here where I'm going to tell you this. Okay. I went to God in prison and said, why did that happen to me? Why was I child molested when my parents loved you so much? Why would you allow
They were
it?
faithful. They faithfully went to church, and they gave you their all.
Right. You know, they built that church. And God literally opened my eyes to this. They didn't follow me. They followed that man. What happened to you saved their lives and their soul. Because they were following a man straight to hell. Because of what happened to you, changed their lives. And now they follow me. They don't follow a man.
This is kind of...
So...
I kind of have a... I wouldn't say I have a problem with this, but I kind of do have a problem with this.
Well, of course you do, because
it's like you were sacrificed.
What was Jesus done? He was sacrificed for all mankind.
Little kid, though. You're a little kid.
It's
That's
just a
like
flesh.
saying that God sacrificed the little kid so your parents can find their way.
But we are flesh. It's the soul that Jesus Christ wants. Your eternal life, not your fleshly life.
Do you honestly believe that?
I know that. My flesh is going to die. We're all going to die. There is no way in this earth that we're getting
No,
out of
I'm
here.
not saying that like about Jesus. I'm saying, do you honestly believe that was right for what he did? Like, he sacrificed this little 8-year-old kid.
No, he
to
didn't.
fix these.
He didn't sacrifice me. Mankind's still going to be mankind. Mankind's still going to be
It's
wicked.
kind of like sacrificing you, bro.
No, but it's
Look at what kind of life you went through and had.
But look how I came up on top. Look at what I'm doing here now. Look how many people I am actually testifying for and testifying to. Every week, I preach on Facebook. Every day, you hear me all the time telling people about Jesus Christ, how he saved my life. I didn't die. I'm not 6 feet under. I'm 6 feet above. I'm sober.
But it killed you inside, and that's almost like
But
dying.
now I'm living inside. I beat Satan. I beat the world. I have a tumor in my head that I'm beating right now. And you know this.
Yes, I do. I do.
I had brain surgery I walked away from.
Yes.
So tell me how I'm losing.
I'm not saying you're losing, but it's just like everything you went through, like that's kind of extreme to save other, like how are you sacrifice this person to save these other people?
But I saved my parents. I saved my parents' soul.
Uh-huh.
They were following a man straight to hell. See, mankind is wicked and mankind's evil.
Uh-huh.
So if it takes one person to save 20 people, isn't it worth that one person to save that 20 people? As long as that one person is saved also.
But not a kid.
It doesn't matter how old you are, as long as that one person is saved also.
Don't you think that's cruel to if you like say it really is? I'm not saying it's not true, but let's just say, because there's gonna be doubters out there, there's
Right.
gonna be believers, but let's just say it's true. Don't you think that's cruel to sacrifice a little kid, even if he is saving 20 people?
Well, let me ask you.
That's a little kid.
Okay, you're a very intelligent man. Now, I know a lot of men out there that scream and loud and act intelligent,
Uh-huh.
but you're not like that. I work with you. You're very humble, very quiet, and I've seen you get down and work. You're an intelligent man. So use your intelligence on this one. If any person in the world saves 20 other people
Yes.
to save himself, that's just good logic. It doesn't matter what the age is.
So somebody saves 20 people to save himself.
To save, saves 20 people and also saves himself. It doesn't matter about
Yeah,
the
that
flesh.
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because I think the ultimate goal, I wouldn't call it a goal. I shouldn't say goal, but I don't have any other words to replace it. The ultimate goal would be, or the end would be that you became the person that you are.
Exactly. Now you think about this. If 4 people were drowning,
Yes.
and if I knew if I'm going to jump in there, they're still going to drown, and I'm going to drown with them, why would I jump in there? That would be just stupid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even though I would feel like a hero trying to save them, but we're all 5 still going to drown, that would be wrong of me to do so.
Yeah.
So safety teaches us not to do something like that,
Uh-huh.
right? So, but on the other hand, we don't know the intelligence of God that gives us purpose to do what we do.
Uh-huh.
But we still know that the intelligence is out there because we learn daily. And that's why we pray for wisdom and knowledge. Everybody thinks they know everything until you start learning from your past. And when you learn from your past mistakes, now you're learning knowledge and wisdom of God.
So this whole time, did you always think like that?
Never.
That you, like I'm saying about what happened to you when you were little to save your parents, did you always think like that?
No.
When did you start thinking like that?
When God told me
Okay.
in prison.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing that, see, when you start opening yourself to God,
Uh-huh.
okay, he starts letting you know a lot of things that you didn't know. And it's just, these are things that you start opening your mind to because you're willing. When you start willing to do something, when you start willing to educate yourself on any kind of task, aren't you willing to learn and then you start learning?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. You open up, like, your perception of things just becomes broad and really, really wide, and you're like, all right, yeah.
Okay, so
you receive information like crazy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm 10 years old. I'm at church. And I remember it's Easter.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we went down to Goodwill and we got me a brand new Easter outfit for Easter. And it's those hard shoes, black hard shoes with hard soles that you can barely bend. Okay. Okay. Blue shirt and a black slacks. Okay. The reason why I know it because it's the same graduation outfit I got. I mean, I get to graduate from 6th grade, right? So I have it that long. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm wearing it, and it's Easter. Okay. My mom says, "Whatever you do, Matthew, don't you get this dirty." Okay. I did. Whatever. So I'm chasing a little girl in the parking lot. Okay, and the concrete is made all rough. It's really rough.
Yeah.
So I run around in the parking lot and I slip in those shoes, and I rip the pants, and I carve my knee where it looks like big time road rash, right? So my mom jerks me up, getting to church, and so we're in the back pew, and the whole family's sitting right there, and I'm sitting on the ground, okay, crying, and I'm holding my hand over these red pants. My knee's bleeding. Forget my knee. I don't want to get spanking. I'm 10 years old. Okay?
And your mom doesn't know yet?
No, she knows. Okay?
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to get a spanking. I get home.
Yeah.
And she told me not to get my pants dirty, and here it's ripped.
Yeah.
So mom and dad don't mess around. Okay? I'm going to get a spanking.
Yeah.
So I'm putting my hand over the pants, and I'm praying to God, praying to Jesus. Jesus, your word says that I can ask you for anything and you'll heal my pants. Forget my knee. You'll heal my pants, right? So the whole entire time I'm looking up at my pants to make sure that the hole's healed. So it never heals. So I'm 10 years old. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
Right? I believe in Jesus that much at the age of 10.
So you thought he was just going to magically fix your pants?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what you believe in, right? You believe that much in Jesus.
Yeah.
So I go home knowing I'm going to get a spanking. I didn't get a spanking. I didn't even get talked to about it.
Why is that?
So years later on, I'm sitting...
Were you dead sure, like, I'm going to get a spanking?
Oh, at least grounded or something.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say nothing. Not a word. So years later, I'm sitting in prison, and I'm asking God, what about my life? Why am I here? And he goes, remember that time when you were praying over those pants? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, when you were praying over their pants, your parents heard you, and I melted their hearts so they wouldn't spank you. Yeah. So your pants didn't get healed, but your prayer was answered.
To not get a spanking. So it's like, I get it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God answers your prayers in the way His will is.
Yeah. Doesn't mean He's going to physically fix your pants, but yeah, I get it.
Your prayers still answered.
I get it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when God uses you and does things for you and everything, it's His will, not yours. His timing, not yours.
Let me ask you this. How long have you been this devoted and your life has been changed?
Going on 10 years.
10 years.
I'm going to 10 years of sobriety now.
Okay.
And I praise God for that because 31 years of addiction and alcoholism is hardcore because I thought I was going to die an alcoholic. I thought someone was going to find me at a curb.
Is it hard to deal with alcoholism day to day? Is it hard to say no when it's so widely available and everything?
I can walk in a grocery store and go down the aisle and it doesn't bother me. But I can see a bottle in the curb and I get chills.
Why is that?
Because that's where I used to drink.
Really?
Yeah.
So like seeing alcohol over there or over here or anywhere doesn't bother you?
Not at all.
If there was one right here in front of you, it would.
It wouldn't affect me. But I go.
Well, when you say you get the chills, you get chills because you remember or you get the urge?
No, I get the chills because that's where I was.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I did everything on the curb. I did, I literally would walk. I don't think I've seen anybody drink like me. Anybody. And this is no brag. I'm not boasting. I'd walk in a store and get a pint. And before I hit my car, it was gone.
Wow.
And, I'd walk behind the liquor store and drink it so I can walk in and get another pint.
Oh, wow.
And I would pour it in here so I can drink it down like water. And I drank it straight.
Yeah.
I didn't drink, I might have had a squirt to chase it, afterwards.
Man. And so you said 10 years.
Yes, 10 years.
Hey, let's give Matthew a round of applause, man. 10 years is 10 years. Was it hard to stop?
It was. When I first started to quit and everything, there's a relapse and there's a lapse, and I've learned those two things. And I lapsed a lot.
What is that?
Lapse is when you, a relapse is a full-blown relapse where you're back into it.
Like back to where you started? And,
Yeah.
Okay.
A lapse is, a bottle. You slept, you drank a bottle.
Yeah.
And you're really sorry for it. You're convicted.
You got up and then continued on with your sobriety.
Yeah, and that's
There was a lot of those?
No, not a lot, but
Here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2010, I had my first DUI. I bought a Ford Ranger, and I had my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, and my third month, I drank 13 pints by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ooh-wee.
And I had 6 somos. And I was driving home, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I pulled out of Kohl's parking lot about 3 blocks from my house. It was my first blackout.
Oh, wow.
And I drove up a light pole.
Dang.
My blood count was 0.64. And I should have been dead.
Man.
Yeah, so I just thank God I didn't run over a little girl or a little boy.
Yeah.
Because I hit up a light pole instead. That was my second to last hardcore drinking. That started opening my eyes. I got a blowing device in my vehicle.
Because of the DUI?
Right.
How much did that DUI cost you?
Close to $6,000.
$6,000.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's kind of cheap.
No, I take that back. No, I take that back. Close to 10,000. Close to 10,000.
That. I was gonna say it's kind of cheap compared to the stories that I hear.
It was 10,000. Yeah, it was close to 10,000.
That's what I hear. It usually costs about $10,000.
Yeah, it was close to 10,000.
Yeah.
Now I told my wife, if I buy a new truck, that I would keep that blowing device in it as long as I had that new truck or till it breaks. Well, I kept that blowing device in my truck I have now for 6 years.
No way.
On my own.
And why did you do that? to make sure you stayed on path?
Yes, it helped me to stay on path. I never drink and I tried it one time to drink and drive, or tried the blowing device, and it really didn't work. So,
what do you mean? It still started?
To see if it would start, and no, it wouldn't start.
It wouldn't start? So the device did work?
The device did work.
Okay. Do you still have it to this day?
No, it finally broke.
Oh, okay,
It finally broke. My 6th year.
Do you think you were comfortable enough to not have to buy another one?
I thank God for it. It actually worked.
Okay.
It actually worked for me. The 6 years I had it in there detoured me from drinking and
multiple
driving.
times.
Yeah, but the key thing is it taught me every time I have an urge to call my wife.
Okay.
That's my support.
Okay.
So even to this day, I'll give you an example. I work nights with you. Every time we work nights, I always looked at the clock when we got off early to make sure it was past 2.
Why is that?
Because I wanted it to be past 2.
So you can't swing by a bar?
Swing by a liquor store.
Oh, okay.
Forget the bar.
Yeah.
The bar, I got to socialize.
Yeah. And well, most of the time we always work past 2.
Right.
So that's, yeah.
So no, every time we work.
Yeah, we're usually getting off like 5, 6 in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was always good. And so I.
But what about the nights that were short?
I'd call my wife and say.
Like there was like maybe 1 or 2 nights. I mean, we used to work a lot.
Right.
I mean, well, I still do. You work days. I don't know how your schedule is now, but I mean, there was only like 1 or 2 times that we get out like that early. What happens then?
I call my wife and let her know I'm coming home.
Okay.
Because what it does, it takes that urge from me. Because now she knows.
Okay.
So if as long as
you can't hide it from her, and it doesn't matter to her that it's that early in the morning.
No.
Or that late,
No.
I should say.
No, she knows she's my support.
Uh-huh.
And I thank God for her because she was there for me. And being there for me means a lot. So I thank God for her.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I call her and say I got an urge, that's what she's there for. She doesn't want me to pick up a bottle. I guarantee.
Yeah, and she'd rather you wake her up than go and do something like that.
Yeah, because if I pick up a bottle, I ain't coming home.
So, how do you feel about people that are out there drinking and partying? Do you look at them like? Do you judge them? Do you like?
No. I don't judge anybody doing anything. I'm there for them. In fact, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I got so and so that's drinking and that's using drugs, and I got so and so that's doing this. Can you talk to them or help them? And I'm always there for them. There's no judgment because here's the thing: a lot of people don't understand. Jesus Christ didn't come here for Christians. He didn't come here for preachers and pastors. He came here for us sinners. That's why he died on the cross. That's why he was sitting with sinners and tax collectors and stuff. The Pharisees, said, why are you sitting here with all the sinners and tax collectors? He goes, I didn't come here for the ones that are healed. I came here for the ones that are sick. So why would I judge the ones that are sick?
Yeah.
I'm here to help them. I'm here to say, I've been there. I've done that.
So I heard you mention earlier that you speak on Facebook once a week, you said?
I do. It's just my Facebook, Matthew Miles. I call it living. I call it Inspiration Chat with Matt. And I show it every Monday.
And so basically, what goes on it? What time can they catch it?
I do it Monday morning, early Monday morning. Sabbath, Saturday, and then I said a lot of people are very confused about the Word of God. Very confused. So what I do is I read the Word of God, chapter to chapter, verse by verse. A lot of preachers will bounce around and confuse a lot of people. It's a storyline. This is text. This is history. Don't confuse history. People confuse history. You can't confuse George Washington with Abraham Lincoln, right?
Yeah, no,
right?
No.
Because it was text, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Bible. You don't jump around. Teach the Word. So Monday mornings I teach the Word, as it should be. I don't teach it my way. I teach it the right way. I teach
Straight from the Bible?
Straight from the Bible. And
Yeah.
I don't give you my twist on it, you know.
Yeah.
I just tell you what like it is, man.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me. You know, you got a problem, talk to God.
What do you think about religions, man?
Okay.
Like how you said that you read it straight from the book. There's people that take the book and interpret it their way, and sometimes like I sit there and think like, hey man, that's not right. Or I like Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm not saying they're bad people. There's just like some out there I think that are very, very judgmental.
Well, of course,
you know, and there's other religions too. I've been to Christian churches where these people say, hey, Jehovah's Witnesses are bad. And I'm like, well, that's kind of not your place to judge and say. So if you're saying that Jehovah's Witnesses are bad, then you're already in violation of what you believe, right? Jehovah's Witnesses, when they used to come to my house, I would talk to them. I would give them the time of day. And they'd be like, well, this religion is bad and this religion is bad. I'm like, okay, now it's time to go because now you're in violation of supposedly what Christ believes in, right? Like, so these religions and people that tell the word their way, I always give everybody a chance. You know, people come knocking door to door. Hey, can I talk to you for a moment? Yeah, you can. You can talk to me. And I always give people the time of day. And right away, I start asking them questions. Hey, what do you think about this religion? Well, that religion ain't right. All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I don't want to talk to you no more. Because I just don't think it's right. If you're already judging people and you're already feeling some way about people, you know, if it was me teaching religion, I'd be like, well, everybody teaches something different, but this is the way we teach and this is how we're speaking. Because once you're judgmental about it, I really don't feel like you're a true man of God.
Well, there you go with your intelligence right there. That's showing the intelligence that you got, okay? So, yeah, people are wrong to judge whether it's, I don't care if it's Buddha, I don't care if it's Mormon, I don't care if it's Baptist, I don't care. They're teaching what they're taught.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't teach religion, okay? I'm not a religious man. I'm a child of God. Okay, so I'm not against any religion. I'm not against any race. I'm not against any gender. I mean, I'm against sin. Love the people, hate the sin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that because I was just about to say like, well, then you don't like sinners, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
you love the people, hate the sin.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's not the people that God don't hate people. He hates the sin. See. God is a firing God. Jesus Christ is a firing God. You know, they're always on fire. If you listen to the Bible, then it's always God and Jesus. They're on fire. You know, sin is combustible. So that's why you know they talk about hell being the fire because sin's combustible. So sin is always burning. Okay, but God is a healing fire. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they go into a firing furnace. They walk into a firing furnace, because they won't bow down to their God.
Yeah.
Okay? And they don't burn up. Why? Because they have no sin in them. They're holy. In fact, 3 goes in and 4 are standing in there because.
Do you really believe that the stories in the Bible are true?
Oh yeah, because
whether they are or not. I believe that is one hell of a book. I have only read, I'd say, be honest with you, I've only read the Old Testament. I read parts of the New Testament. But the stories in the Old Testament, man, they are, whether they're true or not, I'm not judging to say they are or not, but they are incredible stories.
Well, let me ask you this.
If somebody out there has never read the Bible, the stories in the Bible, man, they are very, very incredible, and they're very, I don't want to say it because I'm talking about the Bible like this, but they're very entertaining. It really, really will get your mind flowing and everything. That's just how I feel. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, let me rock your world right now for just real quick about the Bible. Okay?
I'm a very, very good debater, so.
Hey, no. This is.
And I won't be disrespectful. I believe in a higher power. I don't believe too much in religion. I love the Bible for the stories as a book. I don't believe in the Bible. I won't say that I don't believe in the Bible totally. When you have a group of people, men, that sat around and chose what books go in the Bible and what books don't, when they take the stories of the books of the females that were in there and they take them out, how can you trust that?
I mean,
When people dictated what books go in the Bible.
I don't understand what you mean. They took the Bible.
Like the story of Mary Magdalene and all of these people. Like there was other books written about females, and if you notice, the Bible is male dominated, and there was these people that got together, and they chose what books are going in the Bible. And you could watch it. You could pull up the documentaries and stuff.
There's a lot of documentaries on many things of the Bible.
And there's a lot of books that were left out. Books in the Dead Sea Scrolls that they found.
Right. Okay.
About females.
Okay, and when you go to the Dead Sea Scrolls and you'll find out they match the Bible, the Book of Ruth and the Book of Ezra. Okay, and I mean we're talking about.
Okay, you're right. They do match the Bible, but also when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they found these books about females that were not included in the Bible.
Right.
And it was said that these men chose not to put those books in the Bible. Now, how can I believe something that men dictated what to put in there? You know what I mean? Why not put all of these books in the Bible? Because it was very, how do you say it?
Male chauvinist?
Yeah, back then, right?
Right.
And how can I believe that? And how do I know that they did not dictate the way a story was told? Like, how do we know that there wasn't so great books in there and everything wasn't all peachy and 100%? Maybe they took those books out to make that book seem 100%. You know, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. It's just gets my mind going. Like, how do we know? Somebody put that together.
Right.
It didn't just, God just dropped it down and said, boom, here you go. This is the book I want you to put. This is the book that I want you guys to follow. Men chose what goes in there. I can't follow that.
I got a quick answer for it.
But I love the book, though.
Yeah.
I do love the book.
I got a quick answer on that. Okay, this carries 66 books.
Hold on. I already know what you're going to say.
What's that?
God gave these guys the path. He came into their body and told them what to put in there, just like he told them what to write and everything.
What is?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He gave 66 books, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, could you imagine? Picture this. The world has a problem with 66 books. Could you imagine the world trying to understand 85 books, 102 books, 105 books? They have a problem just dealing with 66 books. And the documentaries that we watch are dictated by men that say, okay, they put this book in and they took this book out. The Dead Sea Scrolls, we're allowed to go study at any time. So we can go read any book we want. They're not being taken out. They're just not here. But you can go read them anytime you want. You can go to Jerusalem and study everything you want. You can study Judaism. Today, we have the knowledge and the skills and the electronics and everything to learn everything we want. But the world can't even understand this much. Could you imagine if they tried to read this much?
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to accept faith.
Yeah.
And that's what we're living on. This is not what we're living on. We're living on, I can read you this all day long.
Yeah.
It's when Jesus Christ touches your heart is what changes you, not the book. The book is just a pathway. It's just a map. And see, that's where a lot of people are confused.
But that book right there dictates how churches are ran. That book dictates religion and what people follow. That book right there. But 100%, I'm not saying anything bad about it.
Oh, no, I know you're not.
I love the stories. I believe some of the stories in there. Like I said, I believe in a higher power, in a supreme being.
And as well as you should. But again, Jesus Christ didn't say follow a book. Jesus Christ said follow me.
Okay. Then why you walking around with the book?
Because this is an educational piece. Just like anything, like Google. You look up Google for educational pieces, right? You carry your phone because it's a map. MapQuest.
Yeah.
That's my MapQuest.
That's a good one. I like it.
You know?
Yeah.
It teaches me and helps other people to learn how to go to Christ. This is not going to get you into heaven. This is sold in stores.
Yeah.
It's paper. It's literature. It's teaching you how to go to Christ.
All right.
Not to go to a church or
I like that. You won me over with that one.
Okay,
I like that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That. No, hey, 100%.
Yeah, it's not going to teach you.
I like it.
Yeah, you're going to buy that in a store, and you can buy different translations on it.
Yeah.
But when you go to your knees and you pray and ask God, prove yourself to me. Teach me who you are. That's what I was taught this all my life. And I was directed in the wrong area. I went in a different ring. And I had to battle my life back into where I am today.
What's your favorite story in the Bible?
Be honest with you, one of my favorite book right now, okay, is I just lost. I'm actually reading it right now. Proverbs is a great book. Proverbs is one of the best books there. It's wisdom, okay, by King Solomon. Okay.
Oh, that's what I was about to. You know the story about the two females. They come. It's King Solomon, right?
Yes, it is.
And they were fighting over the baby.
Right.
And then King Solomon said, "All right, well, I'm gonna cut the baby in half." And the real mother was like, "No, just let her take the baby." That is a dope story. That is a really, really good story.
And see, and he had to pray for that wisdom.
Yes.
You know, he didn't just come off the whim. He actually went to God.
And then God granted him, right? Like, if you could have anything, what would it be? And he asked for wisdom.
And then he became the wealthiest king in the world. Okay, now who's King Solomon? King Solomon is the son of King David. Now, King David, the apple of God's eye, okay, had someone killed and committed adultery. We're all failures.
Oh, yes.
You know, look at Moses. Moses was a son of Pharaoh, and he killed a taskmaster. So, I mean, God uses the people of the ground to do his bidding.
Yeah.
You know, Saul, okay, which turned later.
What? Sorry, I didn't.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to lose this in my head
because
a thought would just run. What was the man that I think he lost his kids?
Job.
Was it Job?
Yeah.
And then he was about to. Well, I don't know if it's the same story. Is it the same story? He was about to kill his kid on the edge.
Oh no, you're talking about Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham. It was Abraham.
Yeah.
And Abraham, he was about to kill his kid at the end, right?
Yeah.
And that was a crazy story,
Yeah,
bro.
he was going to kill his only begotten son, sacrifice his child. Okay, now you were talking about that a while ago, right? Sacrifice a kid for God.
Yeah.
And he was going to do it.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's
following God. That's true leader. Now think about how people have been on TV and said, God told me to do this. Okay, if God told you to do it, God would have stopped you also.
What do you mean?
Okay, people have killed their children and said God told them to kill them in the past, right? You've seen those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But see, God told Abraham to sacrifice his son for him, right?
Yeah.
So.
And he stopped him before.
Right. Abraham went up there to do exactly what God said. But God also stopped Abraham just to see if he was going to do it.
Yeah.
He just wanted to test Abraham to see if he was going to really, follow what God wanted. And he did. So God stopped him. So these people, these whack jobs that actually do it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're just using God's word as your whack job.
And then what about the book of Job? What was his story about?
Okay, Job, this is the crazy part, okay? So Job is one of the oldest books of the Bible. Okay? So Satan, and you got kicked out of heaven and everything, but Satan's still allowed to go before God, right? So Satan goes before God, and God says, where you been, man?
I remember.
He goes, well, I've been here and there, in and out in the earth. And he goes, have you considered my servant Job? He goes, yeah, but you got this big hedge around him. He goes, you take that hedge down. He goes, I can get him to curse you.
Yeah.
Basically, God said, bet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. And he said, not Job. Yeah.
And don't touch Job, but you can do whatever you want to everything else.
Yeah.
So he kills 7 of his sons and 3 of his
Yeah.
daughters, takes all his cattle and destroys everything. And Job still prays to God.
Yeah. That's an incredible story, man. There's
Yeah.
like I said, there's incredible stories in
There
the
is.
Bible.
But,
And I think the Old Testament, and I haven't read the New Testament, man, but
well, Ephesians is a great Bible. I mean, a great book. Ephesians is done by Paul. Okay, and Paul was Saul, and Saul was a leader in the Jewish temple that hated Christians, and had him in prison, had him killed, and until Jesus Christ stopped him on the road to Damascus, and changed his whole life, and he became one of the top apostles.
oh, no way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. See, God uses us to change us, so we can change other people, so we can help other people. See, you say you don't believe in religions, because other religions down another religion.
Yeah, I don't believe
That's
in
wrong.
religions.
You can't do that.
Well,
You can't.
I'm wrong?
No. People.
oh, the religions are wrong.
No, you're fine. The people.
Yeah.
You can't down another person because you don't believe what they believe in. What you can do is pray for them that God will guide them into the right perspective of His will, not your will.
Yeah.
God gave you choice. You can't take that choice from anybody. God gave you free will. How can another person take your free will? You
Yeah,
can't.
that's very, very true.
You know?
That's very true.
God gave me free will to stop doing what I was doing. I just did it almost too late.
So, you're a Christian?
I'm a child of God.
You're not a Christian.
I'm a child of God.
Answers the question. Are you a Christian or you're not a Christian?
I'm a Christ follower. What is a Christian these days? Now think about what you're asking here. Because so many people have tainted that name. It's like church. So many people has tainted that name. Church.
Church isn't a physical building. But why do you say that? It's a church can be just
This
when
is church.
someone
We're having church right
praises. No, I thought it was this. What does it say in the Old Testament? That churches, when people get together, right, come together and praise God.
It says, when 2 or more are gathered, He is in the midst. So right now we're having church.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in a building. It could be outside. It could be
right.
anywhere. Yeah.
Jesus Christ went to the temple to teach, but He also went to the top of the hill. Jesus Christ went everywhere to teach, and that was church. Church is the body of Christ. He is the head, and everybody else that serves Christ is the body of the church. People in Georgia and people in Australia that believe in Jesus Christ is having church right now with us. People that are believing right now on your podcast and agreeing with us is church.
Do you think so? These crazy people that get people to do like mass suicides and stuff. Do you really think that they believe that they were spoken to by God?
Their mentality. Okay. Let me ask you this: do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Okay. Do you believe in demons?
No.
Okay. Well then.
And the reason why is because I've never seen them.
Well, have you ever seen a fish that glows?
No.
But they're out there.
Well, because I seen it on the Discovery Channel, yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, just because you don't see
But I
them,
don't believe in aliens. I think there's something out there, but I've never seen aliens, so I can't say I believe in
why
aliens.
should we be so arrogant believing that we're the only ones ever?
Oh, I just never seen one.
Doesn't
you
mean
know?
doesn't mean they're not out there. What I'm saying is, okay, the Bible speaks of aliens. Okay, and that blows your mind.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay. See, the thing is demons they exist just as much as angels exist. It says in the Bible, be aware because we might be actually, entertaining angels. Okay. They're out there. Demon-possessed people.
You believe in ghosts?
No, I don't believe in ghosts.
Why?
Because, ghosts is what? Is someone that died? No, you're either gone or you're here.
Well,
Okay?
how do you know?
I believe in demons or angels. Why would God have anybody hanging around? He's already, it's serious. Why would God have anybody hanging around? It's serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm all-powerful God. I believe in God. Why would God have anybody hanging around? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
there are demons. I mean, Jesus Christ cast out a legion of demons out of one man.
So what do you think about these people that say that they see ghosts and that they performed exorcisms and stuff like that?
Well, see, demons exist, and demons will confuse you. Satan came here to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay?
So you're saying these ghosts are demons?
Yeah. They are demons.
I might be able to go with that.
Yeah, because people want to believe in ghosts. They want to believe in demons.
Yes, sir.
And they want to be haunted. They want to have that.
No, I don't.
Well, maybe not you, but
there's people out there that want that. Yeah, I get you.
People want chaos. Think about it. A lot of people are addicted to chaos. They can't leave chaos alone. Think about it. They strive on chaos. They thrive on chaos. That's life. Without chaos, they can't live.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I don't believe in angels or demons.
Well, you're, again, an intelligent man, so you're basically based on what
So
you
what
say.
is an angel then?
An angel?
Yeah.
Well, okay. An angel is right above us, okay? So...
Is everybody an angel when they die?
I'm sorry?
Is everybody an angel when they die? If you are going to...
Well, it says we will become as angels. Doesn't mean we will be angels. We'll become as angels, okay? We will be as ourselves, okay? But we will not be like this. We will be healthy again.
Yeah.
No scars. All my scars are gone. All my past is gone. We will know each other. But we will not know anybody that did not make it. There will be no sorrow.
What? It's hard for me to believe that you have to live a perfect life, that you have to not sin, that you have to live a certain life to be accepted into heaven.
Wait a minute. Who says there's a perfect life?
Well, what are the credentials for getting into heaven?
There's no credentials, man. You accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior and let Him handle you. There's no getting better. I didn't one day say, "Oh, look at me, I'm good." Because
people say like, well, when I go to churches or I talk to religious people, they're like, man, you have to get on the right path. You have to do this. You have to walk this kind of life. Like, who says that?
Okay. That's the thing about religions, okay? The way Christ works, okay, He changes you. You don't change you. You can't change you. That's why you call upon Him. If you try to change you, that's never going to work. Okay, we try all the time. We try to be better people.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to drink. I tried not to cuss. I tried not to have sex with other women. I tried that. It didn't work. I was still doing it.
Yeah.
Until I caught up in the Lord and asked the Lord in my heart and really meant it. I didn't just say, "Oh, you can come into my heart."
Help me out this one time.
And trust me, I did. You know, I did that a couple times. You know, can you keep me safe? You know, as I'm driving with 17ers. You know, and I did that several times. But no, when you're serious about surrendering, and say, "I surrendered you completely," He starts correcting you, convicting you, changing you, and it's crazy, because next thing you know, you stop cussing. You're convicted constantly, and you just completely change. It's called a new creature in Christ. You are different. You become different because of Him. You don't become different because of you.
I have one more question.
Okay.
What would you say to somebody that says, "Hey, I believe, I know there's God out there. I believe, but I'm just not ready to change my life and go to church because I know that I'm going to sin and I'm going to mess up, and I'm not ready to make that commitment because I'm just going to be a hypocrite if I do."
You know, I used to say that statement.
I'm telling you because myself, people ask me why I don't go to church, why I don't. And I tell them because all I'm going to do is be a hypocrite because I'm still going to cuss. I'm still going to do bad things. I'm not going to live a good life. You know? Because
a lot of people ain't ready to let go of their life. See, they believe if I turn my life over to Christ, I ain't me no more. You know, and I hate to use bad English, but, you know, they believe that, hey, if I turn my life over to Christ, you know, I'm not going to be who I am no more. And my friends ain't going to look at me the same no more.
No, I don't think like that.
But
I don't think like that. I just have too much, like, I'm not going to stop cussing.
Right. But no, I didn't think so either. It's not that you stop cussing. You just stop. It's not that you don't want to cuss no more. You just stop. It's weird. I can't explain it. You just stop.
Is cussing a sin?
Well, let me ask you this. Okay.
No, I need a yes or no.
No, it's not a sin.
Then why do people look down on it?
No, it's okay. Me and you talk about this before, right? We've had this conversation, have we not?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm just having this conversation for the sake of the people watching.
Okay. So let me ask you guys something.
Ronnie just tapped in. What up, Ron?
Yeah, what's up, Ronnie? So anyway, me and Steve had this conversation before, and I brought it to his attention. Steve told me, he goes, "Hey, go get that effing pipe," right? And I said, "Steve, they don't make an effing pipe. They just make pipe. I'll go get you the pipe, but I don't see no effing pipe over there." And so we had this conversation, and it's the same thing as if someone yells at you. They make it all exciting. Hey, I need you to go get that pipe. But don't yell at me.
No, but I told you when we were having that all it is just an expression. It makes it a stronger expression.
So is yelling.
No, it's not yelling. It's
No,
just
but
trying to show you how passionate I am about that effing pipe. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
But what I'm saying, other people think yelling is expression. So my point I'm trying to make, it's not that it's a sin. The slang, that's not the sin of how you're using it. It's just pipe, and you can say that word. It's no big deal. It's when they use it in a slang, like I can't wait till I get home and F my wife. Now you're taking.
Well, yeah, that's a derogatory
right
statement. Period.
Exactly. Now you're basically sinning against your wife.
So if me and you are talking, you say something like, "Man, get the F out of here!" But just playing with you, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm ignoring
right?
it. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean,
Why you gotta ignore it? Why, if it's not bad?
Because I ain't gonna say it.
But why?
Because see,
you're making it.
No,
you're
no.
saying you're not gonna say it because it's a bad thing.
No, because I don't want to slip into other. It opens doors for me. And these doors I don't want opened again. See, Matthew Miles is gone.
I can accept that.
Actually, Miles is gone. Matthew's here. And if I start letting doors open, other doors will open. And then other doors will open. I'm a new creature in Christ. Okay? So,
but I just feel like you're saying that it's bad.
No. It says, see, in the Bible it says.
That's true. I want to, sorry, before you get there. It is true what you're saying. Doors open, right? One time we were barbecuing at remember, were you with us when we had the first yard?
No,
not the yard that we're in right now on Santa Monica. We had another one on Santa Monica as well, but it was on Barrington. You weren't with us then?
Yeah, I was in Barrington.
You remember that Barrington yard?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were barbecuing on that yard right there. We were barbecuing, and the superintendent. We used to have a superintendent at nights before they just gave let me take over everything.
Okay.
So we had a superintendent like Lance,
Okay.
but he was under Lance, and Lance walks in one day. We're barbecuing and they had the radio on, and Lance turns the radio off, and he's like, "Hey man, don't be playing that stuff right here." And the superintendent was like, all right. Later on, I asked Lance, I was like, hey, why'd you do that to him? He's like, I don't want to hear music. And I was like, why? He was like, you really want to know why? I said, yeah. He's like, when I hear music, it reminds me of me in a G ride with the gun and drugs. And he's like, and it brings me back to somewhere I don't want to be. He's like, I follow God now. I don't want to hear music. I was like, that's legit. That's legit, because he was playing rap music, and Lance used to play rap music. So. Right. I was like, that
exactly.
That's a good reason to not want to hear music, because he don't listen to music at all.
Right.
And I think for you, that's a good reason to not want to curse if it takes you back to a place that you don't want to be.
Right. Exactly. I don't want Miles to come back. Matthew is fine. But nobody wants Miles to ever come back.
Oh,
that's a very ugly man.
My alarm's going off. Where is that dang thing at? What phone am I? Oh, is this one right here? I got like 5 phones in here, man.
But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I stay away from. It says in the Bible to get away from bad conversation. I mean, I'm giving layman's terms, because conversations start rolling into other conversations and other conversations.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you start with one, and then next thing you know, you're picking up your phone and say, "Hey, look at this chick," and look what they're doing, and then it takes you down to a path you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And then things stick in your head. In my head, Satan's always attacking me, and that's truth. Okay, you don't even want to know what's up here. Okay, so I have to battle every day against my past. I was talking to my wife and my mother-in-law yesterday when I was teaching them. It's funny how my life is now. Because my life is always content with Christ. But Satan, and I can use his word as free as I want, because now everything is evil when he attacks me. I don't remember good, because my past was nothing but bad. So he attacks me constantly, and in my dreams, it's nothing but evil and wicked. And with this messed up head of mine, and so I go to my doctor. I said, "Hey, I had this kind of dream and everything." "Oh, it's just your self-conscious." "Wait a minute, that's my self-conscious."
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And it's just constantly over and over and over again. So if I let anything inside that doorway, I'm letting a lot in.
Yeah.
And I can't allow that.
Yeah.
So my struggle is basically I battle every day. Because in Ephesians 6:10 through 18, we put on the whole armor of God. It says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against wickedness, against principalities in high places. So we're always fighting against spiritual wickedness. Our flesh and blood is nothing. We can handle a punch in the face.
Yeah. Well, not all of us. I don't want to get punched in the face, bro.
No, but
I'm just
seriously.
playing. Yeah,
But
I know what you mean.
you know what I'm saying? We can handle that. But to be hurt in the heart and the mind?
Yeah, because internal, that stuff eats you up.
Long time.
Eats you up, yeah.
Long time.
Before I let you go, we've been on over 2 hours.
Wow.
It doesn't even seem that long, huh?
No, I've enjoyed this.
It's almost 2.5 hours already.
I hope it's been okay.
I just want to say this, and we've never talked about it because I've never wanted to talk about it, never brought it up. We were at work one day and one night, and I don't know, I sometimes I get mood swings and I don't even mean it. And I started cussing at you, and it was the first time you ever yelled. You yelled back at me. We were arguing. Remember that?
I do.
And I'm not going to say I hardly get like that. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a cool boss. It's just rare that I get jumpy and I don't know. I don't know why I got like that. Anyways, it didn't bother me, but it bothered you.
Well,
Like, it didn't bother me one bit that you yelled at me, because I was yelling and cussing, and then you yelled back at me. And it didn't bother me, but I could tell it really, really bothered you. And we worked together only 1 or 2 days after that. Then after that, you were gone for almost a year. And I thought you didn't come back because I yelled at you and I was cussing at you.
No.
And I had even, before I knew that what happened to you, I had texted you like, "Hey, man, you all right? Hope you're good," And I don't know why I've never found the words to tell you like, "Hey, man, like, my bad. It wasn't really that big of a deal to me. And I shouldn't have yelled at you like that." I mean, it wasn't the last time I yelled, but it was the last time I went to that extreme, and you don't even know how bad I felt. I felt really, really bad when I found out what happened to you. And I was like, man, that's going to be the last conversation we had? Like, I felt messed up because you ended up with the tumor in your head. And like I said, I didn't see you for almost a year. And I was like, the last real conversation that I had with the man was me yelling at him over work. I mean, I do get stressed out sometimes. I have a lot on my plate. But I did not want that to be our last conversation. I'm glad you came back to work with us, but I just wanted to tell you that I apologize for that moment. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, just let you know, okay? And I've already had this mask before that, and it just coming and going.
Yeah.
But no,
I didn't know though.
Yeah. The reason why I yelled is I got it. I mean, the reason why it bothered me that I yelled because you're one of the top bosses I've ever had, and that's the fact. Okay, and I've already told Lance and everything. You know, and you know how I feel about you.
Yeah.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. Okay, when you drown it out for 31 years, you don't care. You know, I've chased guys around with a shovel in my hand, wanting to cut their head off.
Yeah.
But when you change, you get your feelings back. And then when you sober up, you get your feelings back. You know, and so I became that 8-year-old kid again. And operating is like my third arm. You know, I love it. So when one of my favorite bosses yells at me and cusses at me, it's like, wow, what did I do wrong that I know that I'm doing right? And so it really bothered me for me to yell back at you in a sense, like, I'm really trying here.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying what you're saying. You know, but at the same time, I'm sorry. And because I never want to get mad at you, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love here. You know, I got a lot of love for you, brother.
Hey, and man, for me, it was like, I don't know, maybe I was just yelling, maybe I was just cussing, but to me, it wasn't a big deal, but to other people, it might be a big deal.
That's right.
You know? And it's rare that I get like that. I mean, it's more rare now. Back then, I did scream a lot, I did yell a lot, and I did cuss a lot, but now it's kind of rare that I get like that. I'm more mellow, more chill.
Well, I understand when you got bosses breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
It happens, and there was a couple guys standing there that was breathing down your neck. Hey, what about this man? Oh, and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that.
Yeah.
But it happens, as long as we're still good.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
Okay.
Hey, man, if you guys didn't know, my friend Mr. Miles here, I know you guys don't know, but a while back, he had a tumor in his head, and you got it surgically removed, right?
Half
but
of it.
There's another. Oh, so the mass that you have right now is still the second half?
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. They don't want to touch the brain matter. We're still dealing with a lot of the migraines and a lot of the. I don't know how to explain it, but.
And then that sometimes causes pressure on your brain?
Yeah, it causes pressure on my brain, causes me where I feel drunk or I feel waviness or whatever. And I have to take a shot once a month. So, yeah, there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing about this man. This man still gets up and goes to work. And it's very, very rare that this guy is not in a good mood. He shows up always in a good mood. He's in a good mood throughout the night. I only see him maybe once in a while, like something really bothers him and he gets mad. But even when he gets mad, he's not disrespectful or anything. And with the stress that he has, he keeps going. He keeps going, man. I remember for a while, you were fighting it until you had to go back to days, man. But I take my hat off to you, you know. Not that many people will get up and do what he's doing when they have a tumor on their brain, you know, and the headaches that you get. Sometimes he'd be out for 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, and then he still comes back and goes to work. You know, this man fights. He's a fighter. You telling us your life story, you've just been fighting all your life and you haven't given up. And that's commendable, man.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for letting me join you. This is it's been a pleasure, and I thank you all for listening and watching. And this is my first time, so hope I did okay.
Hey, just to let you know, man, you're welcome back whenever you want. Whenever you got something to talk about, whenever you just feel it on your heart, schedule a day. You finally came through. Just let me know whenever you want to come through, and you're always welcome here, man. It's good to do stuff like this. And for everybody that's just tuning in, I know this is not something that you guys are used to, but it's something that I want to get into. I want to hear people's life stories. I want to hear their testimonies. I want to just let people express themselves and not just talk about gang stuff and prison stuff, and I would like to just hear about real life people and people that are trying to make a difference in this world. And this man right here is trying to make a difference in this world. So thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it.
If you don't mind, we say a prayer.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you right now, thanking you and glorifying your holy and magnificent name. This is the time where we actually come together as a whole to help one another, to learn about one another. Steve's here to actually open the views for a lot of people, and whether it's prison, whether it's gang, whether it's just normal guys like me, to actually speak out. And we thank you for the chance we have one another. We just ask for guidance and wisdom and knowledge and understanding for one another, and that we all get closer. And this world changes. Let's get rid of the ugliness and let's bring in positiveness. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, Mr. Miles. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Much love and respect. Stay silent.